Okay, it's recording.
Okay,
We're
thank
going to
you.
hear a bunch of stories about why Medicaid is so important to our state, why it supports the entire budget, and how at the end of the day, Medicaid is about health care. Medicaid is about our communities. It's about keeping people safe. It's about keeping people healthy. It sounds like a complicated government word, but really what it is all about is making sure that people have quality, accessible, affordable health care in the communities they live in, and they have the supports they need to live independent lives. And we're here today to make sure that Congress keeps our hands off
Medicaid!
Good, nice job, everyone. Okay, so thanks everyone for coming. I'm excited we have a great lineup of speakers before we head into the building to make sure legislators hear our voice with the Ways and Means Roadshow and understand the impacts of these programs. So I am honored to first introduce Senator Deb Patterson, who knows both directly as a legislator and also as a mom. So I'm going to bring Deb Patterson up. Senator Deb Patterson, thank you for joining us.
Thank you all for coming out today. I am so glad that the weather is beautiful today. And a couple of years from now, after we've saved Medicaid and done a lot of other good things together, hopefully that building will be all the way open and we'll have more room for you to be there and enjoy the capital. So thank you for being here today. As Melissa said, I'm a state senator here in Salem, so welcome on the other side of the district. My district starts there and goes to South Salem, West Salem, Monmouth, and Independence, but we work on behalf of the whole state. We don't just work on behalf of our district. I'm also a mom of a special needs adult young woman, and I'm her personal support worker and a proud member of SEIU 503. Union strong, right? Yeah. So it's really great to be with you here today in defense of Medicaid because we absolutely need Medicaid. 1.4 million people in our state are on Medicaid. We can't afford these cuts to our basic services that we need here. In Oregon, we're so lucky, over 95%, I think almost up to 97% now, of people have health insurance, and everybody needs access to affordable, quality health care. Affordable, quality health care, and Medicaid is, in Oregon, affordable, quality health care. So thank you for standing up. No cuts to
Medicaid!
I'm chair of the Senate Health Care Committee. I'm proud and honored to have been holding that gavel for the last 5 years, and I'm also proud to see so many of you I know, and thanks for inviting me to speak with you today. I know firsthand from our own family's experience that Medicaid is an absolute lifeline for our state, an absolute lifeline. Can you imagine what it would be like not to have all the things available that we need for Medicaid? We need Medicaid for health care. We need Medicaid for personal support worker services, to help seniors and people with disabilities who need extra help in their homes. We need Medicaid for even things like Meals on Wheels for seniors who can't even get out of their house to get one meal a day. So we absolutely have to say, hands off
Medicaid!
Amen. In my other life, I'm also ordained clergy, so you'll hear me say amen a lot. We are here because Congress is seriously considering cuts to Medicaid, and we're going to tell them hands
Off
off
Medicaid!
hands off
Medicaid! Hands off Medicaid!
And we're going to be sure that Congress hears us. We're going to be sure that the legislators in here all hear us. We're in this together. We're here because we
Robert, can you
refuse
take
to
over
let
with
these
this?
cuts go
Can you take over with this video?
unchallenged.
Yeah.
We have to stand up.
Because I feel like I'm
We
gonna
have to
fall. I
stand
gotta
together.
win the
I
punch
don't
to
usually
spin.
use the word fight because I'm a minister. But in this case, we have to peacefully fight for Medicaid. Hands off Medicaid.
Hands
off
off
Medicaid. And so today, we're here. You're going to go in there. You're going to tell your stories. We're going to stand up and protect Medicaid here at the local level, at the state level, at the federal level. We're going to stand together because we have one message to send to them, and that is hands off Medicaid. Thank you.
Anderson. Okay, I do want to, she talked a little bit about Congress, so I quickly want to, you're going to get this flyer here. This flyer. And we do have one congressperson who needs to hear this message. And actually, 12 Republican congresspeople just yesterday sent a letter to the Speaker of the House and said, hey, we're not cutting Medicaid. We need to support, that's right, we need to support vulnerable people. They actually said we should be looking at ways to increase Medicaid. We should make sure. You know who didn't sign on? The best. So you know what? You don't have to tell me to vote somebody. Ask him to put his name on a letter to support people in his district. 40% of people in Congressman Bence's district get Medicaid, and he was not one of the 12 Republicans who signed on to that letter. Exactly. So take the minute, give him a call, leave a message, tell him to put his name on that letter to show his constituents that he's going to stand up for them. So just a reminder, we're here today, we're getting our legislators to understand this impact, but we have to make sure Congress actually votes no cuts to Medicaid. So the flyer is going to be coming around. Don't forget to make a call. Okay, I am excited to introduce Kyle Durkee with SEIU. Come on up, Kyle.
How we all doing? Are we ready to fight for Medicaid? How do you compare that? Are we ready to fight for Medicaid? As Melissa just said, my name is Kyle Durkee, and I'm a home care worker right here in Salem. I've been a home care worker for 8 years. I joined home care because I was taking care of an ailing parent. That parent has since passed. However, during that time, my father, who I was taking care of, was reliant on Medicaid funds just to survive for those last few precious years, just to afford those medications to extend his life. I am standing here today as someone who's receiving OHP just to survive after having had a heart attack to afford the medications to keep me standing here. I faced the real possibility of houselessness while caring for an ailing parent and was reliant on those Medicaid funds. I've had to choose between paying the light bill or putting food on the table. I've walked around in threadbare clothes while my shoes fell apart because rising costs, meant survival came before comfort. And now they want to take those jobs away. They want to cut Medicaid, cut the programs that keep our communities alive, and throw us to the wolves. What do you say to that? Let me ask you something. When was the last time a politician who voted to slash Medicaid had to skip meals to keep their phones on for work? Never. When was the last time they lay awake at night wondering if they'd be on the street next month? Never. They don't know struggle. They've never had to fight to survive in a system rigged for the wealthy few. Yep. What do you say to that? No! We, the workers, are the backbone of this country. Our hands hold up the sick, the elderly, and the vulnerable. And now we have to raise those same hands and say loud and clear, "Hands off Medicaid!" This fight isn't just about healthcare. It's about justice. It's about solidarity. It's about a future where no one is disposable, where care is valued over profit, where the people who do the real work have real power. Yeah! So if you're angry, good, use it. If you're tired, lean on each other. If you're ready to build something better, something rooted in care and dignity, then join in the fight as we loudly declare, "Hands off Medicaid!" We have a world to win, and it's time we broke our chains. Say it with me. Hands off Medicaid! We built this world, and it's time we take it back. Solidarity forever.
Okay, as we think about the impacts of these Medicaid cuts, we know that if they cut Medicaid, people will lose their health care. People who get in-home care or needs assistance, may not get their long-term care. But it also means it'll impact the entire budget, because as the state tries to save health care for people, which is really critical, they're going to have to look to other places in the budget to make cuts. And at the same time as they're talking about cutting Medicaid, they're talking about cutting critical programs, like food programs, like SNAP. All of these things are interconnected, right? They impact our lives. They impact people's ability to stay in their homes. They impact how kids can succeed in schools. They impact the whole thing. So while we're talking about one specific program today, the reality is a cut in Medicaid is a cut to the Oregon budget, and we know Oregonians cannot continue to thrive if they do not have the services that keep families healthy in Oregon, right? Right. Yeah. So as we yell about being hands-off, Medicaid. That's right. We know that it's really about the entire support system that families rely on in our communities throughout Oregon. So I'm excited that as we talk about healthcare, we're going to talk about schools, we're going to talk about food safety, we're going to talk about all of these because they're all interconnected into how families succeed. I'm excited to introduce Olivia Quiros from the Oregon Latino Health Coalition.
Hello, hola, ¿cómo están todos? How's everyone? My name is Olivia Quiros. I'm a first-generation immigrant born in Mexico, but I call Oregon my home. I am the executive director of the Oregon Latino Health Coalition, and since 2004, we've been fighting every single day for the health, dignity, and future of our communities. Alongside SEIU, in 2021, we passed Healthier Oregon program that expanded the Oregon Health Plan to our undocumented immigrant community. We are here today because we know what's at stake. We know that Medicaid and the Healthy Oregon program is not just a policy, it is a promise. A promise that in Oregon, healthcare is a human right. Not a privilege for the wealthy, not a bargaining chip for politicians, not something you earn by the color of your passport or the story of your birth. In Oregon, if you are here, you deserve healthcare, period. So let's be clear, over 98,000 Oregonians, our neighbors, our friends, our familias, are covered by the Healthier Oregon program in every single county across the state. This program means access to medical care, dental care, mental health support, prescriptions, and even a right to the doctor's office. It means that no one is left behind because of language, very hard paperwork, or where you were born. But right now, that promise is under attack. We see it in Washington, D.C., where billionaires get tax breaks while working families get chaos, job losses, and higher process. No! We see it in Congress, where some would rather enrich the ultra wealthy than protect the health of our communities. And we see it in the threats to slash the $880 million for Medicaid to rip healthcare away from those who need it most, from you. Yes, so we say no. Nosotros decimos no, ya basta. We say Oregon will not follow Donald Trump's lead. We will not let Cliff Benz or anyone else in Congress take away our health care, divide our communities, and turn back the clock on justice and equity. We demand that our lawmakers reject new tax breaks for corporations and the rich. We demand that they protect Oregonians, not unelected billionaires. We demand that they fully fund the Oregon Health Plan and Healthy Oregon because every penny counts and every life matters. Our OHPS sisters, those trusted liaisons in every county, are breaking down barriers, helping families navigate a complex system, and making sure that everyone, regardless of language or background, can get the care they need. They are the backbone of this program, and they need our support. So I ask you today, are you ready to fight for a healthier Oregon? Yeah! Are you ready to stand up to anti-racism and say, not in our state? Yeah! Are you ready to tell Congress and every lawmaker in Salem that we will not let them hurt our families, our neighbors, and our future? Yes! So let's make our voices heard today. Let's show up. Let's go to the Capitol after this. Let's wave our signs. And let's demand a budget that protects Oregonians, not the wealthy. And let's remind them that in Oregon, healthcare is a human right. No exceptions and no excuses. So I want to thank SEIU for bringing me today. I also want to dar gracias a toda la comunidad, los latinos que están aquí apoyando. Gracias por su voto, for supporting you. and we're gonna stay alongside you. Thank you.
Thank you. We know that everyone in our communities across the state and across our country deserves health care. And that's what we're gonna fight for. Because hands off, Medicaid! Okay, I'm excited to bring up Enrique Ferreira from OEA. There you are, Enrique. Come on up.
Hello, everybody. What's on? Lovely. I really appreciate that bilingual and that community love and feel and diversity. My name is Enrique Ferreira, and I'm the OEA Vice President. And I'm very proud to stand with you and help you and help each other out because our federal government is threatening our communities. But we will fight peacefully, right? Yes, we will fight peacefully, right? That's right. So, as you know, Medicaid impacts our community, and 30% of our state budget relies on Medicaid.
Are you going to want to march towards the Capitol or
If
stay
Medicaid
here?
goes away, we will
yeah,
feel
'cause we're gonna go
pain,
meet with the
our communities will
congressmen.
suffer,
Yeah.
and we don't need that. We have students,
They're going to go
we have mental health services,
around like that.
wraparound services that depend on this critical
I hope I can.
budget that we all
Don't forget to
fight
get me
for
on that.
every year.
Okay.
And we all need to stand together because we need.
There's my buddy Margaret.
Hands off. Hands off. Medicaid. All right. So let me tell you something. Our students, out of 10 students in Oregon, 7 depend on Medicaid. That's 7 of our students, 7 of your community members, family members, and that's not okay. That's not acceptable. So they need to keep their hands off. Medicaid! Hands off. Medicaid! Okay, so now we need to email, call all those legislators like Cliff Betts, right? Yeah. And they need to protect Oregon, right? Yeah. They need to protect Oregon, right? Yeah. They need to protect Oregon, right? Yeah. Hands off what? Medicaid. Hands off.
Medicaid.
Gracias, hermanos y hermanas. Es un placer estar con ustedes. Es muy bonito estar en este lugar tan diverso. Es un placer, un honor. Gracias.
Thank you, Enrique. Okay, now I'm gonna bring up Evelyn Estrada Guzman from the Oregon Food Bank.
Hi everyone, buenas tardes a todos. I hope everyone's doing well today. It's a sunny day, so we got a good weather. My name is Evelyn. I'm the statewide organizing manager with the Oregon Food Bank. As some of you know, or you may be finding out right now, we have been working on SB 611 called Food for All Oregonians, which would be ensuring young kids in Oregon, regardless of immigration status, have access to their food that keeps their families healthy. It will allow for children 6 and younger who are currently excluded from SNAP, solely due to immigration status, to have access to culturally appropriate and nutritious food. And let me be clear that this is not something new, but rather a way to include those that have been historically excluded from SNAP. Expanding the program is necessary and the equitable and just thing to do under an administration that continues to attack our immigrant community and the access to programs like SNAP. As someone who growing up needed to access SNAP, I understand the importance, and it's so important that our immigrant community can actually also access. Oregon lawmakers have the power to ensure no child goes hungry, and they have now heard from thousands of emails, postcards, and in-district visits urging them to prioritize food for all Oregonians. From Tillamook to Ontario, we have been hearing the need and importance of ensuring kids succeed in school, families stay healthy, and the local economies grow when all Oregonians can afford food, which we know to be true in rural, urban, and suburban communities. We will continue to advocate to end hunger in Oregon and strongly reiterate that we should be operating from a place of abundance and continue to protect Oregonians, not unelected billionaires. So I'm asking to not make preemptive cuts to services before federal action. And I'm gonna I know y'all have your chant going on, but I would love to hear what do we want, and then food for all Oregonians, and I'm gonna repeat it in Spanish. What do we want? Food for all Oregonians. When do we want it? Now. ¿Qué queremos? Alimentos para todos. ¿Cuándo?
ready. We're about to move, guys. So just get ready. So I'm gonna say keep Oregon healthy, and you're gonna say no tax cuts for the wealthy. Keep Oregon healthy. No tax cuts for the wealthy. Keep Oregon healthy.
No tax cuts for the wealthy.
Keep Oregon healthy.
No tax cuts for the wealthy.
I like that one. I like that one. You guys are great. Okay, so as we said, it's about food, it's about schools, it's about
wealthy's
communities.
about to
That's
eat
what
shit,
that's
too.
what Medicaid's about. That's what our budget's
Yeah.
about. And I'm
And we're gonna
excited
be
to bring up
careful 'cause,
Candace Vickers and
really
Mike Bauer to talk about all this
What?
too.
Getting a really bad headache.
Thank you, Melissa.
You wanna sit
And
down?
Thank you to all of you for being here today. This is super important. Give yourselves a round of applause.
It's water.
As Melissa said, I am Candace Vickers. I'm the mom of two amazing kiddos, and I am a fourth generation Oregonian. Yes, nice. From Albina. From Albina. So we've been out here. And I'm also the executive director for Family Forward. Today, we stand before our state's budget decision makers as childcare, healthcare, and every other thing that we deserve is in crisis. And that means
I'm gonna have to
our
hold on to you.
entire economy is in crisis. As we witness the Trump administration pull apart the foundations of our free, just, and democratic society, we know that everything we hold dear is at risk. Get loud. Trump wants to cut Medicaid, he wants to cut SNAP, and he wants to cut essential things like Medicaid and child care. This betrayal is bought and paid for by billionaires at the expense of working families. Boo! We will not be quiet. In this moment, Oregonians need bold action to protect and strengthen our state, including for essential services like Medicaid and child care, right? We deserve policies that pay providers a wage that they deserve and that they can live off of, like we heard from our brother earlier today.
What?
Is there any closer parking over there?
And families to go to work,
No,
to
I
go
don't
to
see any.
school, and to provide for their loved ones, right? We
I am
deserve
definitely-
policies that
something's
invest
not
in our
right with me
families
right now.
and therefore invest
Well, if you
in
wanna have
our
a seat, you
economy
can.
and
Yeah,
our
but I want to go
future,
get the
right?
video for the congressman.
We deserve
Everybody's
policies
going
that
over there.
protect Medicaid and all of the
If you
services
sit
that we
here, I'll
deserve,
go get the
right?
videos. Okay?
Yeah.
A budget
I'm gonna have to
isn't
sit down.
just about
Okay.
numbers. They are moral documents. And it's about lives today. They speak volumes about the values of those who create them. So, what does Oregon state budget say about our lawmakers? Horrible things. And it's on us to get loud. Will Oregons finally step up and step outside of this horrible political mold? Or are our lawmakers going to take the bait from all of this federal fear-mongering? Will our state take bold action to protect families and strengthen our economy? We're not going to leave that up to chance. Today, they're going to hear from us. There's no better time than now to get loud. Be loud. Be loud. Let's speak love over all of this hate and fear that Trump's heinous orders and budget priorities embody. Let's be so loud that the legislature is forced to hear us and do their job. They always told me that I was loud, and now is the time for that to be right. Get
One more, we're gonna wrap us up, and then you're gonna look for me behind you, and we're gonna walk that way to make sure that we can do just what Candace called us to do and get loud, and make sure legislators can hear us on our way to the back steps as we go. Make sure they can hear us in the building too while we talk about the importance of these programs and what they mean to our communities and families.
Hell yes!
Exactly. Hell yes. And before I go, I'm actually very excited for our final speaker. My colleague, Johnny Earl, president of SEIU Local 503.
got a new one for you. Tax the rich, fund our care. Elon Musk has enough to spare. Tax our rich, fund our care. Elon Musk has enough to spare. One more time. Tax our rich, fund our care. Elon Musk has enough to spare. Thank you very much, everyone who spoke before me. Powerful speakers. Medicaid affects every one of us. Not only those who are getting a paycheck from Medicaid, but most importantly, those home care workers and nursing home workers who go take care of our loved ones. This country was built on a couple things, and we need to hold it true to that. This country was built on empathy and compassion for those who don't have. We opened up our borders and said, welcome. We need to open up our pocketbooks next door here and say, you are still welcome. Medicaid benefits all of us. Again, my mother has a home care worker. Believe it or not, I never thought my mother was going to get old. Because she's fired by him. But most importantly, she said she needs a little help. And she lives in Chicago. She doesn't live here. Medicaid is across this country. It's been pulling people up for a long time. And I know personally for that. Years ago, when I was a child, we moved up from the South to Chicago. So I'm not from Oregon, but I wish I was. I am now. Because I have Oregon in my heart. I've been here for 23 years and I ain't going nowhere. And the reason why I have Oregon in my heart, because when I came here, Oregon was welcoming to me. Oregon said, you belong here. Oregon gave me a sense of a voice where I can stand in front of you. But it also gave me a life. When I was in college years ago, I got food stamps. Medicaid funding. When I was a child, I had to get vaccines to go to school. Medicaid funding. When I was in grade school, I needed assistance in reading, and believe it or not, I stuttered a little. I don't stutter now. And Medicaid. Medicaid helped me again. And when I went to college, like I said, I got food stamps because financial aid just wasn't enough. So now, I stand in front of you, a proud member of SEIU, but also a proud recipient of Medicaid. I have nothing to be embarrassed about. Woo! Medicaid gives us a helping hand. And a lot of us need that.
Healthcare is a human right.
Healthcare is a union right. Excuse me, even I get a little nervous up here. Oh, you are so frightening. No, you're not. So, whether you're an immigrant, whether you're a trans, whether you're a child with a learning disability, whether you're a young mother who's soon to be a parent, whether you're an aging senior who needs help just to live a little with life with little dignity. And lastly, whether you work in a nursing home or you work in home care, you deserve a fair wage and you deserve this state to stand behind you. As I said, in a few minutes, we're going to go over there, and the next hour, we're going to tell them why. We're going to tell them two things: that we vote, that Medicaid matters, and that we're going to fight like hell to win this fucking contract.
Okay, you're gonna follow Melissa.
All right, you want to stay here? Okay.
Medicaid! Hands up! 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 Medicaid! Okay, we're gonna try a new one. Listen up, anyone else who has a
I'm gonna cut through here.
Come up on the steps. We're gonna do a big old photo, everyone. Come on. Logan, we're gonna take a photo. Come up on the steps, everyone. Up on the steps. Up on the steps. Move over a little bit. Move over a little bit of this room. We're fired up. We're taking over. We're fired up.
take it no more.
Oh my God, I think there's 5,000 people here. This is amazing. Come here, get closer.
Get up on the steps.
Yeah, come on, let's do
Hands up.
Medicaid!
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 We need some people to move on the other side of the school. We need to be a little more centered here. Come on, a little more centered. Yeah, this is photo time. Critical part of every rally is the perfect photo. Perfect photo. Come on, if you're coming up, come on down to this side. Take a good photo and then tap it. We work here. Try out for just a little bit. Okay. Here we go. Okay, ready? Hands up.
Medicaid!
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 Okay, when families are under attack, what do we do? When families are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up for them!
When families are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up for them!
Okay. Hold up the signs. Let's get this photo. Are we good, folks? Photo, folks? Yeah! Okay. Those are going to testify. We're going to follow Kevin right here. Follow Kevin right here. Right here. You're going to follow Kevin. Those are going to speak to your vote. Everybody else is going to go inside and take a So right over here in the red, Kevin's got his hands up. If you're speaking tonight, you know you're signed up, follow Kevin. Don't forget to call Congressman Vance. You know they do it. Give him a call. Ask him why he hasn't signed out of the letter.
Hi, I'm Lori
All
Ellis.
right, you know you're speaking. Follow Kevin.
For SCIU, I
Kevin, to your left.
Salem here, so
My
yeah, I
left.
hadn't seen you before. Appreciate it. Okay, Andrew, where are we going? We're hearing? Following? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I'll bet you do it as soon as I leave. We're going to find it.
It's easy to do. It's easy to do.
Hey, all right, we're going to be hitting you up with some media advisories. Are you based out of Salem then, obviously? Okay, cool.
No, what they actually do is just like when there's overflow, they like facilitate having people to overflow. Yeah, they're glorified staff. I could do that though. You can pay me a lot less for it.
If you're going inside, you cannot take signs. Or you can take your sign.
Next week it's going to rain.
How you doing today?
Hey Chris, how are you?
Good. I made my plan so I could be here today.
Oh, good, good.
So, are you going to have a monthly meeting in Independence?
Not this one.
No, not in May?
No, in April.
And we'll be doing a lot of this on the days that we're
No,
going to be
May,
helping them.
but May, because Luke said she's going away, so there won't be no May.
I have no idea. Except whenever she goes on vacation or anything like that, I still have my meetings. So.
That's what I'm saying. Are you gonna have one in May?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I have to look at the schedule.
So let me know. So you come over to that.
Okay. Yeah. I don't. She hasn't given me anything further.
She won't be back to the first part of June, but she said there probably no sale. We had a Monday night and we won't have one. So you got my number. Give me a call for April. For May.
Yeah, May.
Okay?
I'm sure because we're not having one in April and we need to have one.
Oh,
everyone's gonna know what's going on.
I know, right?
So I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I guess we'll have to add that in the group chat to see. Because that's where I find out everything is the group chat. Because I don't like us having information here. I'd rather it be in the group chat with our region, so that way we are all on the same page as to what the schedule is going to be. That's why I push for that.
Work Bristol. Work Bristol.
The pin is going to set it off if you don't mind removing it.
Everything metal's gonna set it off.
Got keys. Do you have any metal objects? Can you have them step through one more time? Yeah, have them step through.
They'll find out the bargaining is pretty upset. Okay. Thank you. Say hi to them.
Hello. How you doing, Sergeant?
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. I remember you too.
A la de Medicaid.
Let's see what this is.
It's cheer though, so it's dance cheer. Kind of thing.
They
So when you go straight down, you go through those big doors, and then you keep going down the smaller hallway to the it's kind of like to the right of the elevator.
Is everyone going in the same room or different rooms?
Not everyone's gonna fit into the room.
Because I noticed there's a group of DPS.
What was that?
There's a group of DPS, Department of Public Safety.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what time
food
does it actually
people.
start? 5, I guess, 4:30. I have no idea. 5. I don't know the answer to this question. It's a good one. It's a good question. And what was your name back today?
I'm Bob.
Hi, Bob. And are you a home care worker?
No, I'm a friend of Margaret's. Margaret couldn't make it over here because of her health. She's still in the park, so I told her we'll go ahead and sit there and I'll do the video.
Oh, good.
I've been volunteering for years as a vegetarian.
People are going to testify, so people are lining up to get into the committee room if you can stick around, but otherwise people are waiting to kind of be here for the hearing and any support of that. That's what people are doing. That's my understanding. I kind of ended the part that I actually that I know is happening. So I believe that folks are getting ready for the hearing.
People want to come here.
So they're lining up. Really know. My phone has 0 service.
I'm between the pillars, so I'm not in people's way getting through.
Good. It is good. Like this. You guys testify? Sign up to testify. But you have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, you have to send it. You can't like hand it to me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please help us out by maintaining a walkway through the hallway here. And, leave a little space for people to pass through. Thank you. Hello. Please help us out by maintaining a walkway. Thank you.
Talk to Amanda.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's great. That's good. That's good.
Good money in your cafeteria.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Is it at a meeting? They were direct, but I could have we can get you in line. So yeah, let's get you in line. Excuse me. Alright. You testify too?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Gabby. Yeah, we need to get in line. Oh, excuse me?
That's all right.
That's exactly what you should do. Exactly.
Are you testifying?
No.
No. Okay. I'll do it on May 8th. Okay. No, I mean, you can definitely come on in. I'm just taking names so I can listen for people who are testifying.
He's taking names and kicking the
Kicking rear? That's what you got to do.
I'm Bob.
Bob? All right, nice to meet you, Bob. I'm Mike.
Nice to meet you.
You must be a union member. And,
Yeah, I'm a union member and on staff. Yeah.
On staff, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I feel like 503 union. Look up in 503. I've been a 503 member for
I was an active member as well.
Okay.
I want to know what the rodeo queen's doing here, and can I sit next to her?
The security guard. The security guard made her take off her crown, and I was like, Mega, can you take off her crown?
They raised all the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're everywhere.
All the big wigs.
Hey, Johnny.
Awesome.
Johnny, our group is over here.
Put a jacket on. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna have that.
Are you testifying? So I think I got everybody. I got 4 people.
My question is, are the DPS people going into the same meeting?
What?
My question is, are the DPS people going to
DPS?
DPS?
Oh, DPS, yeah, yeah.
They are? Man, they're not going to have enough room.
I'm probably going to go. I'm really tired. I've been up very early. I got sleep apnea.
Really?
Yeah. It's hell. But I can't really get in the machine. So I'm losing weight, but you know, a lot of stress in this job.
Right.
And it's not doing the job, it's fighting the system. And it's all right, you know.
Well, sometimes you got to fight the system.
You know,
it's better.
I'm getting gatekeepers, you know.
Yeah.
You know what a gatekeeper is, don't you?
Yep.
That's the access to right in the little hole of things. But you gotta understand, you know, we all have to have some things in life to do.
Yeah. Well, just wait till China gets done doing what they want to do.
Oh, you know something?
Huh? Well, they're already cutting stuff. They're cutting Boeing.
Oh, I know. They don't. They order stuff and they don't want to order any parts. But how are they going to keep it in the air?
Right.
You know what it is? It is a chess game or a poker game.
Yeah. And then they're precious metals. They're not letting precious metals leave. And what else? I'm waiting to see what they do with medicine because 90% of our medicine comes in from China.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't? Where does it come in from?
Well, you got Holland.
Yeah.
Okay. Holland. You got Lilly. I think Holland makes one of them, but they make it as well over here. But there's like 3 of them. I'd have to, you know, I don't have it at the top of my head, but China's the only one that gives it like an antibiotic, a pill, you know, the small stuff. I had one when I had pneumonia this winter. But most of them are made, you know, here in the United States or Denmark. Because they have companies here, the same company with the administrations over there.
And then they got India.
India people are beautiful people.
Yeah.
Are all of you testifying or signed up to testify? So you've got how many of us?
This year was the first year that Medicaid, that the government made the pharmaceutical companies pay 20% of the pie. Because my mom has been ordering drugs that are $120,000 a year.
Right.
And, you know, like Medicaid here in Marion County called Pacific Source. And they advertise, oh, we want your Medicaid, we'd love to do your Medicare. You know, and I told them, you guys couldn't afford it.
Right.
And you couldn't get the medicine, you couldn't get the funding. You're small.
Things like this,
United Healthcare is the best insurance company out there.
Yeah.
They got 20 years of medical records on someone. Everybody else does 8 or 10.
Yeah.
And you know why they do that. So, and you think that you sign your papers to have your medical records follow you to that ex-doctor? No, it doesn't work that way. You think it does.
Yeah.
Because they perceive what they're doing is that to tell their members that they're doing that for a reason, so they would deny the services of medicine that the people need.
That's messed up.
Yeah. So if you have this Medicaid and Medicare was universal or the same platform of rules, then people would have different other rules to, you know, fight against. It would be the same platform.
But my question for you is, can Medicaid and Medicare, can they be worked together as one organization?
Because in Medicare has a contract. When you get Medicare and you get Medicaid together, it's going to have dual. Medicaid is only going to pay the copay.
Yeah.
And it's all about the contract. Even commercial insurance that employer has, the police have, you know, by their employers, they have like a commercial one.
Yeah.
All those insurances all will play with their members. You know? because that's insurance companies are paying in really,
Right.
very hard. And they're not fair.
That's a lot.
And they lie their ass off.
Yeah.
But they're only trained because their managers tell them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I comply on my difference of setting the interpretation.
At least we're alive and make the difference for people. That's all that matters.
Oh yeah.
Oh. I'm about to sit down.
Because they need office space? No, they have.
I've been fighting my insurance for 5 years for the unit 3 coach model. And when you work so hard, you forget about yourself.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
I'm a 34-year-old teen mom.
I don't know how to do this. It's hard. Yeah, that's crazy though. Going like that. I don't do return papers. Thank you.
Every day. I was like,
Wednesday.
Like that's the time for sure. How do you know? Not in the grocery store.
Sean said the
still not in a great place, but you know, my mom's got it under control now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you take a deep breath for a second. Yeah.
Control everyone.
Yep. Can't control everyone.
Are you the oldest daughter?
I am a middle sibling, but kind of like the dynamics are,
Yeah. Also an oldest daughter, you probably can tell.
Yeah. A lot of.
It's pretty. A lot of oldest daughters in this job.
You mean like being responsible for
because everything is our responsibility.
Exactly.
Good.
Yes, I agree.
Let me know how it goes, okay?
All right, I will. See
I was waiting. Yeah. This is my neighbor, by the way.
So do you know which hearing's first?
I'm not sure, honestly.
I know there's a lot of people out here.
And I probably I would like to come in and because they don't know that. I don't need ninth graders. Literally, I have to show up to ninth graders and I did the conduct in spring of ninth grade year. Because seniors were in and juniors and freshmen. And I actually said, oh, my freshmen, at least we could try and recover some of the grades. And then we'll but we're so different in SB3. It might get rid of my job. I must be missing
So are you with the Sue or are you with these guys?
I'm with a different group.
Huh?
I'm with a different group, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
City of Faith?
No, I'm with PSU.
Oh, CSU?
Two of our social studies teachers that are advocacy teachers, they have to take the couple of classes. They're really only those students, so it's easy to control. And we're not going to blame them. We tried that.
Mine are also out of high school, and I'm really on the other side. Not that it's always easier.
It's definitely a milestone for us. The youngest graduate hospital basically brought up, and so now we're different in our lives, but always but this is still concerning us. That's all. I mean,
Or you wait until one comes back. My grades. So my sophomore in college had a lack of treatment. Well, hand surgery, emergency hand surgery last December, right? A couple months of hand therapy. He's now actually subbing as a paraprofessional in Dallas Central Independence as he just did a trip to do a program called Lighting Up Literacy, installing solar panels in Mexico. It's pushed in for Mercy ships that are a program that's a medical hospital ship. So they are ships that mostly exist out of Canada or Africa. And this is pushing in for that ship. But then we'll get back.
Are you with this group?
Yeah, I was at the
What's the City of Faith?
City of what?
Faith.
Yes, yeah.
Falls City.
Huh?
We're from Falls City.
Oh, Falls City?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was City of Faith, and I'm like, what?
City of Faith? No. We have no faith. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Obviously.
So this is, I know, she has a tuition waiver right now, but I'll wait until she's in the fall.
it's hard to count on anything, unfortunately. And with
Well, I think it's just
So where's
is it random or is it when
so
you
where's
sign
Falls
up?
City at?
Polk County.
Oh, Polk County? Oh, that's pretty close to here.
Yeah, across the river.
To see the breadboard go.
Where are you from?
I'm from Portland.
Oh, okay.
That was literally
Yes, I seen that, and I thought Faith City, but it's Falls City. Okay. Because there's a lot of there's a lot of cities starting to build up in the United States that are basically communities, religious communities that claim cityhood.
No, Falls City's been around since 1891. So.
Oh, okay.
They actually, at one point, it was so prosperous that it was
I never lost. Nice. We're
slated
talking
to
about
be the Polk County seat, and then lost out to Dallas. So, and then ever since then, things have been a little bit less.
What kind of population does it have?
Only over 1,000, just over.
Oh, over 1,000?
It's really small.
So if they don't fit everything in there, they'll be overflow. And if you're registered to testify, they give you about
What are you here for?
I'm part of it's Sue. Basically, we're here for Medicare and Medicaid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so.
it sounds like you get about 4 minutes to get to your stadium.
How many minutes do you have to talk?
I'm just hoping both those are open pictures.
I know. When the lady walked by, she said 4, so I was very surprised.
4 minutes to get to the staging area.
For how long for stadium?
4?
When the lady was walking around, I thought she had said 4, but I'm still sticking to 2.
Minutes to get yourself to a seat in the other room.
From the
I read
overflow.
online 2 to 3.
They haven't even opened the doors yet.
Well, we got 2 minutes to get in, so we'll see.
That's not going to work out too well.
Well, and when I went to the hearing in Newport a couple years ago for us, they actually let even the mayors got to speak before everyone else did.
That's why I wanted you just to come because
And I wasn't mayor, so I couldn't speak, and they never called my name.
It's been around,
which is strange because then they basically just rubber stamped our application because I think it was that good.
Right.
So they didn't need the additional
you ended up
testimony.
sending.
I sent a bunch of. I mean, but the in person, they kind of it was like, oh, it's a foregone conclusion. You met all of the criteria. So, but yeah.
Hopefully, with him being mayor, you put him as mayor, right?
Yes, mayor and council president, and I put myself sort of like I said as cleanup in case they let me talk. But usually, city managers are. I mean, barely a step up from just an average person because we're professionals as opposed to residents, usually.
So yeah, they let mayors speak before they started randomly. I think it was an order of when
register. Sure. Yeah, and honestly, I did not know that you needed to do the online until I confirmed with Abby
I know this isn't a great place to like talk about things, but TJ and I cannot go to dinner.
Okay.
He's got to go.
I'm a single parent. Delilah's at a softball game right now. So when we're done, either got to get to the softball game or get home.
Otherwise, I mean, if there's anything that you guys wanted to discuss about the list that I sent this afternoon, just let me know. I mean, most of it is it's not really a heck of a lot of new stuff, other than the news that I sent to you.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to. I wanted to reread that email because I was at Knife River with 7 high school boys when I got that, so I needed to pay attention to them, not your email.
What I would say is, so we've got it, right? I'm already going because there's like other sessions that could help facilitate. So I'm registered. If one of you wanted to go with someone else, the thing is, it's such a collaborative effort, so you really want to have as many of the partners represented as possible to show this wasn't just
right. Do they want a lot of people? She said, you know, Steve is going to be there on behalf, like,
you know, they usually don't mind having these collaborative projects, have everyone that had a stake in it to be on the stage.
Okay.
It's the 21st?
No, it's May, the conference is May 1st and 2nd, but so when is the award?
This is what I wanted to talk to you about. First, I wanted to figure out who would be interested in going. Once we figure that out, then we decide, okay. And they may force people to register. It's a lot of money to register. Right. It's like $300. Right. So, to me, no, if we can just come to the ceremony, then that would be, worthwhile. Because otherwise,
that's kind of a key thing.
Are you guys scooting up?
Yeah. Are we supposed to?
Well, they just stepped out, so if you want people to step in front.
There's a bit of a... It's kind of cordoned off. I don't think people can just go in.
I guess I'm curious what day.
If I had to guess, it's
overnight? Oh, is that there's a big so this was okay.
I focused on the day sessions, so that's right. And I wasn't. And I didn't. Once I figured it out, then I was like, and then the rest of the day.
It's just it's not going really well. May 2nd will be difficult for me, but I'll do it. It's worth it. I mean, I'll do it because it's on.
So I could possibly. It's on May 2nd.
It's in Bend.
No. North Bend. So it's a couple of hours. So this is what I kind of wanted to discuss. Yeah. They can decide who else. She follows it. What about that?
My friend Kathy and I were on the so she came in our house.
They have 2 separate awards. That's for excellence and one is for...
I know, but there's only 3 awards. 3. The ceremony will take place on Thursday, May 2nd, which is
that's wrong.
During the lunch hour. So I imagine she said Friday, May 2nd. So we'll confirm her. Okay. Oh.
I should be able to go in. Because our game is moved to Thursday, May 1st against Dallas.
If it's Friday, May 2nd.
It's Friday, May 2nd. Correct.
Okay, so it just says here from the city that we accept no work.
To me, I don't feel super comfortable. Kind of like when the award, I really felt like the Pride folks should have accepted it, but this one even more so. Because yes, we could have Pride. The reason why it's sexy is because there's so many people putting their hand like that. And that's why I do not feel comfortable being the one receiving
That is our one and only Faces Field trip. I think I have my staff is competent enough that I can
all of this.
the person who's accepting the award is given a but it does say, would you like
The line's a lot longer than I thought it was. I thought we were going in here.
located in the hall on May 2nd. So that would might be something that will send these things like you want me to contact him and say
And I cooked it up with ice water, but it's not ice cold.
Yeah, it's
so can you
you know, like I said, I had a really when I saw the
Excuse me.
I had a really good feeling that we would have a good shot at this, and so now I feel like the dog that caught the car.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh
okay,
great, now I need my mayor or somebody to show up and accept it.
Exactly.
I seen that sheet and I'm like, oh, let's see what. Looks like everyone's going into the one way down there. I hope there's room.
Only about 20 people from the line.
We're still doing that one.
Right, but it's never.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be good.
Oh, I'll just go over here.
Do you want to go see?
I think that they probably
There'll be another one open up.
So where's the hearing at?
Next door, it's full though.
It's full?
Yeah, that's why they're opening this one.
Oh, okay. There's no wall room for the media over there?
No, you can't stand in there, no.
Okay.
You would have had to get there a little earlier. You could go in there and take a picture or something and get you in now. Yeah, I was gonna say we're just full, so yeah, we'll open up another one if we need to. Yeah.
Looking in here.
You can open it up here to the lobby or the next seats open. All the wheelchairs are actually in. So we could put some
Thank you guys.
So what's DPS?
DSP.
DSP.
Direct Support Professionals.
Okay, direct support professionals? Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
No problem.
I wonder if they'd be somewhat pissed if I went up and sat in those seats. Hey, Trooper, can we open those seats up there?
No, those are for the members only.
Okay, the reason why I was asking is because there's so many people here.
Yeah. Oh, we've got more rooms open down the hall.
Okay.
Got plenty of seating. Yep, you bet. So if anybody's feeling crowded in here, we got more room down the hall.
Well, I heard something about wheelchairs and, you know,
Yeah, they made room in this room for the wheelchairs, and then some people rearranged chairs in that room and put the wheelchairs in there. They weren't supposed to do that, but they did.
Right, right.
Anyway, yeah, we've got more rooms open. We've got plenty of seats.
Okay.
Sure.
Maybe I should just submit a separate testimony. I can hear people. I don't, yeah, but there's nothing on the screen. So.
When they call on you, you only have to verbally tell your story. They'll give you a time limit to do that. So you'll introduce yourself and say what you're trying to testify to. Whether you can see what's on the screen or not, they can hear you. So I would recommend just waiting for them to call you.
So they'll call on me to solve. Okay. Will I hear other people's statements as well?
Yeah, so everybody will be muted until they call you.
Okay. Then I'll just wait until they call.
Participants can share video. Okay, well I know.
There you go, beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
Are we able to watch this session at the same time?
Everybody should stand on with your hands up.
Hello.
Zoom, much easier to use.
And go off camera. And now I'm going to do instructions. Story of my life. Story of my life. Alright, we are going to go on the record. Alright, everybody, I am calling the Joint Committee on Ways and Means to order. I am opening up a public hearing on House Bill 5006, which is our budget bill. We're going to go through and ask the committee to introduce themselves briefly and go around. I'm going to ask whoever's on, when you come online, please mute yourself.
Mute the people who are not speaking and unmute.
You need to mute yourself. If you're online, please mute yourself and go off camera to save bandwidth. So go off camera too.
Unmute.
No, this is, no.
Unmute.
Not yet. When I call your name, you can unmute, but right now, go on mute. Unmute the hearing room.
It's a pharmaceutical thing, so
Can you all hear me online?
thank you.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Please mute yourself. I need you to mute yourself. I see people, so I don't want to see you yet. Can you go off camera to say bandwidth for us? Oh, yes. Fantastic. I have opened up a public hearing. I've opened up a public hearing. The Joint Committee is going to ask us to introduce ourselves here, the legislators who are here, and then I'm going to have some opening comments and instructions. This is going to be fun. We are going to start with Representative Bowman.
Hello. My name is Ben Bowman. I'm paying attention. I represent Tigard and Beaverton and Metzger in the State House. Thank you all for being here.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Representative Luis. I represent the city of Gresham in East Portland in District 50. Honored to be here.
I represent Jamie Kate. I am from the rural parts of Lynn County and a little bit of rural Marion County.
Good evening, Mark Jones, House District 60. All out here, Harney, Lake, Baker, Grant, and a small party to shoot.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie Day, Speaker of the House, and I represent a district in Lane County, West Virginia, Manila.
Hello, Vicki Bruce Iverson. I am State Representative for House District 59, which is Frick County, Jefferson County, and Wilson County.
Paul Evans, House District 20, Monmouth Events, West Salem, and Borges House Salem. Thanks for coming if you're over.
Hi everybody, David Gilbert from House District 10 in Lincoln County and the western parts of Benton and Lane County. It's going to be a beautiful weekend at the coast. Come visit us.
Good evening, Paul Thomas Sanchez, State Representative, House District 43, North and Northeast Portland, co-chair of Ways and Means.
I am Senator Kate Lieber, Senate District 14, which is Beaverton and Southwestern Portland, and I'm the Senate co-chair.
I'm Fred Giroux. I'm the state senator from parts of the rural parts of Lynn, Marion, and Clackamas counties.
Hi, I'm Lou Frederick. I'm state senator for District 22, that's north and northeast Portland, from the Lloyd Center to the airport.
I'm Mike McLean, Senate District 30, half Central Oregon, Southeast Oregon, in honor of Senator Lynn Finley. My district is 43% of the state of Oregon.
Dick Anderson, good evening. Senate District 5 from the Oregon coast.
Good evening, I'm Janine Solomon. I'm the senator for Senate District 15, and that includes areas of Forest Grove, Cornelius, Hillsborough, and the Rock Creek area of Washington County.
Good evening, I'm Wednesday Campos, state senator for District 18, which encompasses parts of Beaverton, Hillsborough, and Aloha.
Good evening, everyone. State Senator David Brock Smith, Senate District 1. Southwest Oregon, Curry Coos, Douglas County, Southwest Oregon's Fish Farm and Forestry District.
One of you.
Drazen,
Representative Drazen, House District 51. Great to be with you today.
Senator Daniel Bonham, and Drazen is half of my district, that's why I wanted you to go so you could explain to people where it is.
That's right. I missed the queue. I missed it.
Rural Clackamas County, rural Multnomah County, over Mount Hood into the Dalles, which is home. You cannot take a bad picture in Senate District 26.
Anthony Broadman, Senator for Central Oregon.
The co-chairs like to save the best for last. This is Representative Greg Smith, representing District 57.
Okay, all right. So we have had the distinct pleasure of going to many places in the state so far with our community hearings. And I just want to thank you all for being here today. So I want to just say a few words before we get started. So March 19th, Co-Chair Sanchez and I released our 25-27 framework budget. That was many, many hours of work, research conversations, meeting with many of the sub-chairs, legislative, fiscal, state agencies. The framework that we put together was really a transparency document. We wanted to keep everybody in the legislature and everybody apprised of sort of where we are financially at that moment. We wanted to make sure we protected core services, that we were practicing fiscal responsibility, and maintaining some flexibility in a time that is pretty uncertain, especially from what we're seeing from some of the federal government, some things that are going on in the federal administration around potential federal cuts. The good news is that Oregon is in a much better state than many other states who are cutting their budget right now because they didn't have enough revenue. We are not preemptively cutting services. The framework maintains our current service level, and I just want to reiterate that we're not preemptively cutting services. That being said, we are not going to have enough money to pay for everything. If the federal spending is cut, that will impact vital services to Oregonians. The state budget is not designed to backfill federal funding. In fact, we use our budget really smartly, where we try to maximize federal dollars by spending things on things that we can draw down federal funds. So I just want to make plain that it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, for us to backfill anything. We also budget to the May forecast, which hasn't come out yet, and we will know more in the middle of May about our budget. I really want to thank you all for taking the time to be here. There are 3 rooms, I believe, that are full of people, and I'm going to go over a little of the procedure, but let me just be really direct. We are not going to be able to hear from all of you. As much as we appreciate that, we're just not going to be able to. We have many people online as well as people here. We're going to call up the people online. It's going to be sort of 60% online, 40% here, because we wanted to prioritize this as our online hearing. But if you have written testimony, you may submit it up to 48 hours after the hearing. So that's important. Your testimony is limited to 2 minutes per person, and we will. There's a clock that's going to go, I think, on the big screen there. And on the computer that you can see it. Remember to state your name for the record. I know people get nervous, they come up here and they forget their name. Just tell us what your name is, but you can skip any courtesies. You don't have to name anybody up here. Just go right into it. Tell us your name. We will not be asking questions to reserve time, so members are not going to ask questions. We want to make sure that we are hearing you. We're going to rotate, this is the hard part, this is where we're all going to have to work together. We're going to rotate between virtual and in person, okay? If you are virtual, please leave your camera off until we call you up to speak. But what's going to be really important is I'm going to call a number of names from the virtual list, and I need you to raise your hand. The reason for that is it bumps you to the top of the list, and then we'll know that you're at the top of the list and that you're here. Because sometimes we have people who sign up that can't make it. So, again, when we call your name, make sure you raise your hand to go to the top of the list. All right. We're going to call four people to testify remotely. Okay. And I'm going to keep calling and we're going to do it rotating, so go through. In-person people, all right? We have got chairs in the front here. We're going to call 2 people up to the witness table at a time with 2 people sitting in the chairs, rotating through. So if I call your name and you are in a different committee room, please come to committee room F and make your way to the front to be on deck. And we are going to we have to work together to try to get as many people as we can. We can usually get about 50 to 60 people testifying. So just so you know how many people we can do this. When you are remote and you testify, please leave the Teams and you may then continue to view it on OLIS. The reason for that is we are limited with how many people you can have on Teams, and we want to make sure that people can, we will make sure that our bandwidth stays, so please leave after you've testified. There is both Spanish language and ASL interpreters available, so please check in with staff if you need interpretation services. And there are assisted listening devices available as well, so please check in with staff if you need those. testimony. We organized the testimony in buckets. You all kind of signed up for something. If you didn't sign up for something, you're affectionately known as other, right? Because we put you in another category. What we do is we rotate through those lists, so hopefully we're hitting every sort of bucket of testimony as we go through the night. Just so you know, we have education, early learning K-12, education, university and community college, human services, healthcare and behavioral health is one, public safety and judiciary is one, natural resources and environment is a bucket, economic development and housing is one, capital construction and other, and then we'll rotate back through. Okay, I asked if there's any questions, but I can't take any questions. So, I think we've got it. In order to make sure we hear as many people, please do not clap. As much as you want to, you could do jazz hands, okay, maybe even a few snaps. But let's try to, we really want to prioritize keeping people moving, so I really appreciate that from you all. All right, here's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna go, first we usually call our elected officials who have signed up, and so we're going to call remote, this is in remote, I'm gonna see if you guys listen to my instructions. Lily Morgan, please raise your hand on the little thing. Then I have Rod Cross, James McGuire, Sherry Ringer, Jan Kaplan. All right, in the room on deck, TJ Bailey, please make your way to F. Brian Lotta and AJ, I think it's Foscali. All right, we are gonna start with online, and I am just gonna hope that, oh, there we go, this works. So, Lily Morgan, are you there? Please unmute yourself. Beautiful. All right, Lily, thank you so much for being here. Go ahead.
My name is Lily Morgan. I have had the honor of serving with most of you. Thank you for your service to Oregon and for hearing us tonight. I am now the city manager in the beautiful city of Gold Hill, celebrating our 130th year of being incorporated. We are the site of the second largest village of the Takelma tribe, now represented by the Siletz and Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde. We care deeply about honoring the tribal heritage of our community and have such a significant presence of archaeological items that every project we do has to have a cultural representative to oversee soil disturbance. We are comprised of approximately 1,345 people and about 545 homes. This is a technical discussion, but I assure you that we see the faces of each person impacted by what I'm going to share. Over 60% of our community lives below the median average income in Oregon, and this is significant because anything to improve our infrastructure is beyond the affordability of what we're facing today. A recent water rate study concluded that our water rates do not cover any capital reserve funding for infrastructure improvements, and our operational costs significantly exceed our revenue. We're currently $10.62 over the Oregon affordability rate, and our water rate study recommends an increase of 42% over the next 5 years. Just today I learned the sewer rates of a local service district provider will need to increase monthly of $113 at each home to do their infrastructure improvements. We are needing to do about $10 million of improvements in the next 5 years to continue to provide adequate services. Our number one goal is to not lose water in the highest fire risk area in Oregon at a time where we're barely hanging on. We have to keep our existing housing provided for, and we have pending housing projects that are dependent on our water supply. So many communities in Oregon are facing infrastructure needs, and we've seen the costs go up. Thank you. We ask for your support for our projects. Thank you so much.
All right, Rod Cross, you're up next. James McGuire, you're on deck.
Good evening. My name is Rod Cross. I'm the mayor of the city of Toledo. I draw your attention to House Bill 3870, specifically Section 16. We are asking for $5.3 million for the renovation of our public safety building. 22 years ago, the public safety offices of our police department were placed into a small building, and unfortunately, the only one that was available was one that was in the floodplain. Our current public safety building is not only in the floodplain, but also in the tsunami zone. We acquired a building back in early 2018 to move them to. We worked diligently to get architectural drawings done so that we could bring it up to code and bring it up to earthquake readiness. Also, as you all know, the COVID pandemic hit, and now prices are through the roof. We as a city have put over $1.5 million into this building in the last couple of years, but we need this money to finish it off and get them out of the flood and tsunami zone. We appreciate all the help you can give us. I want to commend Representative Domberg for reaching out and helping us try to make this happen. I made a promise as part of the city council that 22 years ago that would be a temporary move. This is a long time to be temporary, and I do appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. James McGuire, and on deck is Sherry Rinninger. Go ahead, James. Jim.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chairs Lieber and Sanchez and members of the committee. My name is James McGuire. I'm a city councilor for the city of Dayton, and I'm here to advocate for our capital funding project for our Fisher Farms Wells project. One of our key wells stopped producing water in January, despite January typically being our wettest time of year. For 6 months, we have been running our well field pumps continuously, straining the system and worsening well productivity. This unsustainable cycle has forced the city to implement stage 2 water curtailment measures, an unprecedented step for winter. Without immediate action, the city may face a building moratorium and further restrictions on water usage. We completed the second UGB swap in Oregon history a few years ago, bringing 100 acres inside our UGB and swapping it for 156 acres outside. The Fisher Farms Water Wells project will bring 4 new wells online, providing new water source for Dayton while reducing reliance on the shared well field. These new wells are in a separate area outside of the shared well field covered by the 2000 settlement agreement with the Dayton Prairie Water Users Association. The total project cost is $1.9 million. The city of Dayton's match has already been $775,000. So the city of Dayton's funding request is $1.2 million, which is 61% of the total cost. As a strong supporter of Oregon's farming community, your leadership on this issue can help deliver a win-win solution. By funding the Fisher Farms Wells project, we can protect vital water resources for farmers by reducing strain on the well field, strengthen Dayton's water infrastructure, ensuring resilience in the face of drought, and support rural economic growth, sustainability, and new home construction. We thank you for your time, and I want to thank Representative Sharp for putting forward this project for us.
Thank you so much. Okay, Sherry Rinninger, on deck is Jan Kaplan. Go ahead, Mayor.
Thank you so much for taking the time to hear from me today. I'm Sherry Reininger, a resident of John Day for 12 years, business owner, and currently serving as the mayor of John Day. I'm reaching out to talk about an issue that affects every household in John Day and Canyon City, our shared wastewater treatment plant. Our current facility has been holding on by a thread for years. It's over 70 years old. The concrete infrastructure is crumbling, and some of the equipment is no longer made, thus cannot be replaced. For over 15 years, we've been out of compliance with Oregon's DEQ permit, and FEMA has identified the plant's location as a floodplain, meaning we need to move it entirely. After nearly a decade of effort, environmental studies, engineering, community outreach, and fundraising, we're finally ready to break ground on a new treatment plant. The latest cost estimate is $30 million. That's after more than a year of value engineering to bring it down from a potential $35 million or more. To cover the costs, sewer rates will nearly double to $140 a month, a heavy burden on families of our rural community. Our staff has chased every possible granted funding opportunity, and now the only major source left is through legislative earmarks. We're asking for your help. not just to fund a plant, but to protect our public health, our environment, and the future of our communities. Thank you for your time.
Okay, go ahead, Jen Kaplan. Well done. And remember, if you've testified, go ahead and leave and watch us on OLS. All right, go ahead, Mayor.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, my name is Jan Kaplan. I'm the mayor of the city of Newport and speaking in support of our capital request. We're requesting $2 million to complete the design and regulatory planning to replace our sole city water source, the Big Creek dams. This project is existentially critical to the survival of our city, for our residents, visitors, fishing and fish processing industries, hospitality industry, tourist and scientific facilities, and the development of new housing. The failure of our dams would jeopardize the north-south travel on Highway 101 for months, if not years. Completion will require federal assistance, municipal bonding, and/or grants to cover costs of construction. The current request will help to complete this design and phases so we are shovel-ready. In 2011, the city's Big Creek dams were identified as potentially unsafe, subsequently defined as hazardous. In 2021-23 biennium, the legislature allocated $14 million in lottery bond proceeds to fund design and environmental permitting. The design work is now approximately 30% complete. However, rising costs have increased the funding needed by $2 million. The city has invested over $6 million in this project, and we need your help to complete the initial phases. This complex project involves 25 distinct task orders covering a wide range of activities, and 13 of these task orders have already been completed. The outline budget reflects the remaining work required to finalize the design portion of the project. I literally wake up every morning anxious to find out that our dam still stands. It will not withstand any significant earthquake. Thank you for your ongoing support.
Thank you so much, Mayor. All right, for those remote, these are the on deck will be Christy Cotty, remember to raise your hand, Andrea Castaneda, Caitlin Davidson, and Dr. Sammy. And we are now going to move to in person. Whoever wants to go first. Fantastic.
Oh, all right, hang on. Here we go. My name is TJ Bailey. I'm the mayor of Falls City, population of 1,000. I'm here to urgently request your support to secure federal funding to replace our Dayton Street pedestrian walking bridge in the sum of $1.6 million. The bridge may seem modest in scale, but for our community is a lifeline. It connects the north and south sides of Falls City, not just for pedestrian traffic, but for something far more critical, our water and wastewater infrastructure. In 2017, in our 2017 Water System Master Plan, we're agreeing we're replacing the Dayton Street Bridge was one of our top priorities. Over the years, it's continued to deteriorate. A structural inspection in January 2025 revealed just how dire its condition has become. The bridge has now been closed to pedestrian traffic to prevent further damage and to protect what's left of it, as well as protecting one of our main tourist attractions and source of water, the Little Lucky Mute River. Why is it so urgent? Because this bridge doesn't just move people. It carries all of the wastewater lines serving every home south of the river. If the bridge fails completely, Falls City would immediately lose the ability to provide sewer service to an entire portion of our town. It would also directly affect our ability to supply reliable water to those residents and significantly reduce our capacity to fight fires due to compromised water pressure. An engineering firm just recently quoted that in order to just stabilize it, it would be anywhere from $200,000 to $600,000, but that's just a stopgap. Full replacement right now is anywhere from $2.5 to $4.4 million, depending on fluctuating labor and materials cost. Oh, dear God. Aside from the infrastructure, Dayton Street Bridge serves as a critical redundancy in our emergency response plan. I urge you to support this funding request and help ensure that Falls City remains safe. Again, thank you.
Great, thank you. All right.
My name is AJ Fosco. I'm the city manager for Falls City. My mayor actually has highlighted all the highest points of this project. It is an entirely necessary project for the city because of the vital component that bridge plays in our city. Both water and wastewater run in this bridge, as well as pedestrians. And the $1.6 million that we are requesting would go a long way to helping the city be able to replace this.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna call two more people for here while you're making more. Darren Drill and Anna Barsati come into the room and sit in front. And I'm gonna go back online to Christy Cotty.
Good evening, my name is Christy Kotke and I'm testifying today regarding education funding. After watching the entire 3-hour American Institute of Research presentation to the Joint Committee on Education in February, I had a renewed appreciation for the countless hours you all spend on the dais, digesting data, asking important questions, and doing so in a uniquely stressful legislative session. I'm here today as a teacher, a mom of a student with special needs, and a school board member. Thank you for your commitment to fully funding the CSL and raising the sped cap. Education has never been fully funded in Oregon, and this year will be no different. But there is a way to make our dollars stretch even further to directly impact students now. Without additional revenue available, it's critical that the legislator ensures that we are not burdened with additional financial and administrative mandates that could further erode the resources we are diligently allocating to improve student incomes. But there were bills moved forward last week, for example, that unfortunately are going to do just that. House Bills 3365 and 3652, Senate Bills 847 and 978 and 916 are just some of the many bills whose impacts would necessitate immediate adjustments to our already limited budgets, forcing districts to divert money away from students. Senate Bill 916 and 3652 have the potential to cripple districts like ours financially. They are examples of bad policy. Even with the proposed current funding increases, many districts will still experience some budget constraints that limit their ability to provide the high-quality education that every student deserves. I encourage you to talk directly with your school districts and superintendents and consider a halt on any new bills that will require additional time and resources. This cannot be the year to add more to our plates without adding the funding to support it. I'm happy to be available to provide your staff with additional numbers and examples of how bills impact our district. Thank you for your time tonight and consideration, and for the work that you do for all students.
All right, Andrea Castaneda and then Caitlin Davidson, you are on deck. Go ahead, Andrea. Okay. Go ahead, Caitlin Davidson, and then on deck is Dr. Sammy. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to Brian Latta. And then what I'm gonna do here is, because we didn't get anybody on the line, I'm gonna call a few more people before you go, Brian, sorry about that. We're gonna call Jennifer Sacklin online, Rebecca Ramos, Mariah Tillman, Allison Lutz. Okay, you guys prepare? And then I'm gonna call two more people, Kim Conley and Riley Umpris, to come in person. Go.
All right, thank you. Good evening. My name is Brian Latta. I'm the city manager for the city of Dallas. Our city has been adding an average of 500 new housing units to our community and to the state on a rolling 3-year basis for the last 10 years. We plan to continue this pace for the foreseeable future. This assumes that the city can keep pace, however, with the demand for infrastructure. It's for this reason that I am here tonight to testify. Our community has requested 3 capital construction requests. The first request is for $1 million towards the James Howe Road 3 million gallon still water storage tank. This project is currently in design and will be construction ready by this time next year. The city will be financially supporting this project through a combination of water system development charges and financing. The $1 million investment from the Oregon legislature will reduce our financing. This project will relieve water pressure issues for the area around the tank. In addition, the storage tank will provide resiliency to our finished water supply. It will also serve as a master planned residential development, which is estimated to add over 450 homes to Dallas. The next 2 projects are tied to House Bill 3939, chief sponsored by Representative Elmer, Owens, and Wright. This bill provides infrastructure funding that supports needed workforce housing in Dallas and to our state. Our city has 2 shovel-ready subdivisions with 2 different local builders who have committed to the workforce housing requirements in this bill. We are ready to go and need your support. The first project is $1 million towards water, sewer, storm, and street infrastructure costs in the vicinity of Barbary Avenue and Hinkle Street. This subdivision is proposed to create 54 new homes for our community. The second project is $1 million towards water, sewer, storm, and street infrastructure costs in the vicinity of Oakdale Avenue and Hayter Street. This subdivision will create 59 additional homes. So in summary, we're asking this committee to support a portion of Dallas' infrastructure needs. Your investment will enable over 650 homes to be added to our city. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Anna Barsati and I work as a school garden coordinator and educator in McMinnville. Oregon's farm-to-school programs play a vital role in building strong local food systems and improving student health. The increased physical and mental wellness I have witnessed in my role is only possible with the funding we received to build a school garden and create dynamic, relevant curriculum that's about horticulture and farming and feeds the curiosity and interest of our students, not only in our middle school, but beyond the high school and even after that. Our students are a testament to what this critical funding translates into, and I can tell you that the experience they have had as a direct result of this funding has positively impacted their lives and in turn ours. These programs work in tandem with Oregon's push to expand free breakfast and lunch to every public school, HB 3435. We are asking the legislature to support $12 million for farm to school in the ODE budget, $1 million for farm to school in the Oregon Department of Agricultural budget, and fully funding HB 3435 school meals for all. With the elimination of federal funding sources and the rising costs of food, supplies, and staffing, a modest increase in funding is crucial for the sustainability of this important program. There is little more important than investing in the health and wellness of our young people who will go on to lead and serve our larger communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go to online. I see Allison Lutz.
Hello, my name is Allison Lutz and I'm here today to urge you to support HB 2669 for part-time faculty pay parity. Put $40 million more into the CCSF to fund it, and please reject any and all tax cuts to the ultra-wealthy and corporations, and ensure no cuts to community colleges. I'm a part-time faculty member at Chemeketa Community College where I've worked since 2011, and Clark College in Vancouver, Washington since 2024. Even though I'm labeled as part-time, I regularly teach more than a full-time class load. Teaching is my main source of income, and I'm dedicated to this work and my students. At Chemeketa, a part-time faculty member is currently paid 65% of what a full-time member is paid, and 65% is not an accurate reflection of my work compared to my full-time colleagues. I teach the same classes, have the same qualifications, receive excellent evaluations, but I get paid less. Our students receive the same credits. Why don't I get the same pay? Institutions like Chemeketa use part-time faculty to save costs, add a disservice to students. I have to teach at multiple institutions to make ends meet. I'm unable to provide my students the adequate attention they need as I have to run out of my classroom to drive to my next job. I spent the last year looking for other part-time openings, and this year I was offered a class at Mount Hood Community College. Unfortunately, I had to decline that offer so I could take another offer at Clark College in Vancouver, Washington. I took the Clark job over Mount Hood simply because Clark pays more. In fact, Clark pays almost double what Mount Hood does for a new hire. Also at Clark, I make $800 more per class than I do at Chemeketa, where I've been teaching more than 13 years. I'm not the only Oregonian looking to Washington for higher wages. I know 2 other part-time faculty from Chemeketa who have taken jobs at Clark. Part-time faculty deserve equal pay for equal work. The future of Oregon higher ed depends on it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Jennifer Sacklin is up next, and Rebecca Ramos, you are on deck.
For the record, my name is Jennifer Sacklin, and I work at Lane Community College, or LCC. I am here in support of House Bill 3182, which provides basic needs support funding at Oregon colleges and universities. I am here in solidarity with my colleague, Rebecca Ramos, LCC's benefits navigator, who you are about to hear from, who works miracles to help students. Before the Oregon legislature passed the 2021 Benefits Navigator bill, I worked as an academic coach for LCC students who receive SNAP benefits and are aiming to improve their lives through education and training that lead toward family wage jobs. My coaching job primarily focused on students who are working towards getting their GEDs. As a reminder, nationwide, people with high school diplomas or GEDs earn over $9,000 per year more than people with less than a high school diploma, so it is critical that colleges support students who are working towards their GEDs. Throughout 2020, I coached GED students who suddenly became homeless due to the pandemic. They were living in their cars and trying to attend classes on Zoom while sitting in the parking lot outside libraries to use the Wi-Fi. One of my students was living in a tent when the police swept her homeless encampment. She lost all of her possessions. She was desperate to get her GED so she could provide a living for her family, but it was almost impossible for her to succeed in her GED classes at LCC while experiencing homelessness. I could not help her. I did not have the training or the network or the funding to connect her with housing. All I could do was offer sympathy on the phone as she cried from the ruins of her tent. After the benefits navigators were funded, however, they have been able to help students just like her. Over a one-year period, Oregon Benefits Navigators referred over 22,000 students to basic needs providers, such as shelters for those fleeing domestic violence, job placement programs, local health clinics, food pantries, housing, and more. Benefits Navigators are crucial. Most students do not know of the resources that are available to them, so it's essential to continue to fund.
Thank you so
them.
much.
Thank you.
So, Rebecca Ramos, and then on deck is Mariah Tillman if you're there. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca Ramos, and as a benefits navigator in the county, I see an influx of parents and students, youth and older adults struggling to make ends meet because of the lack of livable wage jobs, lack of affordable housing or rent control policies, and lack of affordable educational and training pathways. As my colleague just spoke to, several of the students I work with are currently living in their cars or camping in the woods while going to school. In most cases, they are also working a minimum wage job, which is not sufficient to pay for multiple rental application fees and need 3 times the rent to be approved. Let me remind you that Oregon is #1 in youth and family homelessness, and you have an opportunity to change this. With the support of our benefit navigator team, we have now been able to cultivate stronger relationships with community partners such as Lake County Health and Human Services, vocational rehabilitation, and other local organizations to try and leverage as many resources to address student basic needs while reducing the financial burden of attending higher education. An example of this would be that LCC's basic needs team can now provide those direct referrals to Lake County prevention and diversion programs for those in need of rental assistance or facing evictions. Another example of this is a student who came into the center on their last vial of insulin. They were going to have to wait 3 to 4 weeks to get another month's supply. Our team contacted our community partner who scheduled an intake for the following day, and our student was able to receive 6 months worth of insulin at no cost. If our students are hungry or worried about life-sustaining medication, they will not achieve academic success, and we are failing to provide holistic student support. This bill will allow us to continue investing in the basic needs of our students and families to ensure that they are retained and persist to complete their program of study, which ultimately leads to a stronger local and state workforce. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. All right, Mariah Tillman, I don't see you on deck, but what I'm going to do is call 4 more. Rachel Ramirez Barnett, Carla Taz Jamal, Toby Rates, and Rachel Ward. And then in person, I'm going to call before you go. Johnny Earl, Melissa Unger, Vicky Bosick, and Julia Brown come into F. You're on.
I'm Kim Connolly. I am the McNary High School College and Career Access Specialist here in Kaiser, Oregon. It's one of the state's largest high schools. You all represent seniors in the state of Oregon who are extremely dependent upon the Oregon Promise Community College Scholarship and Grant. Education has got to be our poverty prevention and our way out of homelessness. In 2024, the class of 2024, 2/3 of McNary High School seniors applied for the Oregon Promise Community College Scholarship and did the required FAFSA or ORSA in order to get that scholarship. And then the Higher Education Coordinating Commission in Oregon put a FAFSA Student Aid Index number on that Oregon Promise Community College Scholarship. And they found out that they were not going to community college 2 months before their arrival. We walked them through all the steps. What does that correlate to for those families? Chemeketa Community College has said that roughly roughly the family and the student who lost out on the Oregon Promise was a family of 4 making $100,000 a year in our region. I cannot tell you how critical that scholarship is. If you have to make a choice this year on whether or not you're going to fund education, put enough money in that bucket. The federal concerns are critical. Your Oregon community colleges are where nursing and diesel and auto and fire and EMT and dental and business transfer pathways exist. It is the plan of Oregon seniors, and Oregon needs to prepare to educate her own. That is the climate we are currently in. Additionally, I would strongly encourage each one of you to use your leverage. The Coordinating Commission.
Thank you,
to
Kim.
not double dip. Promise.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate you. All right. 2 more people online. Carla, you're on next. I'm gonna call Martiza Cruz, Stephanie Smith, Darwash Zakil. And Carl, go ahead.
Co-chairs and members of the committee, my name is Carla Tazimal, pronouns she, her, and I serve as the Community Developmental Disabilities Program Director with Lane County. Primary responsibilities of the program include determining eligibility for services, conducting abuse investigations, foster licensing duties, and providing case management services to individuals who experience an intellectual or developmental disability. There's a program like the one I'm responsible for in every community across the state. These services are a lifeline for the people we serve. Case managers connect people to vital services like housing, healthcare, and transportation. They monitor services being provided to ensure health and safety. They're responsible for tasks such as ensuring medication is being administered appropriately and people have access to safe and supportive living environments. Foster licensors also provide recruitment and training to local foster providers to support them to meet the complex and individualized needs of the people needing services. Our services are funded through the Department of Human Services, and over the past few years, our funding level has remained flat at 86% of what would be considered full funding. This is historically less than what APD receives, and unlike APD, we serve both children and adults. It would be beneficial for us to reach the same levels of funding as APD. Unfortunately, our underfunding has led to high caseloads, challenges in completing timely follow-up related to abuse investigations, and extended timelines for completing eligibility determinations to support access to vital services. This has occurred while demands for services have increased. Over the past 2 years, we've experienced a 20% increase in the number of people served, and the complexity of needs of people served has expanded. We're partnering with brokerages to seek to restore our programs to 100% of full funding. Such investment would draw down significant federal match and help solve many of the staffing-related issues that we experience. The reality is full funding is critical to cover the cost to recruit and retain a skilled workforce. It's critical for the programs to continue the services necessary to support the health and safety of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. An additional concern is the plan for the state to remove foster licensing. We ask that this remain with the community.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go next to Toby Reitz, and on deck is Rachel Ward.
Hello, my name is Toby Reitz. I'm the Executive Director of the Autism Society of Oregon, the largest autism nonprofit organization in Oregon, reaching over 25,000 people each year. I'm also the mother of 2 young autistic adults. Both personally and on behalf of ASO, I'm respectfully requesting to please schedule SB 538, Tenzi's Law, for a vote and to prioritize it for funding. This bill would remove the ban on paying parents of minor children as care workers so that very high-needs children with disabilities can access the Medicaid services to which they are already entitled. Our children are, by definition, children with extraordinary care needs, and they meet stringent criteria for institutional level care to receive care hours. Disqualifying parents from being paid caregivers for the disabled minor children means that care hours will remain an empty promise by the state. In my family, we struggled to find in-home care providers for our son. In years of searching, we found exactly one, and she could cover less than half of the monthly hours allotted. To meet our son's support needs, my husband became Jake's caregiver. This was his full-time, unpaid, intensive job during our prime earning years. At one point, we were both home because that's what Jake needed, and it was financially devastating. Families should not be put in a position of financial desperation to provide the care their disabled minor children need. The only other choice the state gives us is to voluntarily give up our children to foster care. We also know paid parent caregiving works. During the temporary COVID-19 allowance, Oregon families reported that their disabled children were happier, healthier, and making progress. The stability and continuity of care made a real difference, which is exactly what these services ought to do. A final point, our children have a higher mortality rate. My kids lived long enough to utilize paid parent services past age 18 for only 4 months and 3 weeks. Many other disabled children, including the namesake for this bill, are unlikely to make that milestone. Please help us to care for our children in our own homes while they're still here. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. All right, go ahead, Rachel Ward, go ahead.
Good evening, my name is Rachel Ward, a South Eugene resident and the Executive Director of Farmers Market Fund. I'm here to request continued funding for the Double Up Food Bucks program within the Department of Human Services agency budget, which is Senate Bill 5526. Here's how Double Up works. If you're not familiar, for every $1 SNAP spent at participating outlets, shoppers receive an additional $1 of Double Up Food Bucks to spend on Oregon-grown fruits and veggies, essentially cutting the cost of produce in half. This program operates at 216 farmers markets, farm stands, CSAs, and grocery stores in nearly every county across the state. I know that the state is operating in a very tight budget this year, and that's why supporting this program is important. Double Up is an economic driver. It not only reroutes federal SNAP dollars into the local economy. In 2024, it facilitated $5.5 million worth of produce purchases that went straight into the pockets of Oregon farmers. By freeing up shoppers' personal funds to be spent on other essential goods and services, the economic impact of this program really ripples out to several other industries. And last year, this additional spending created over $6 million in Oregon labor income. The need is tremendous. If all eligible households participated in Double Up, redemptions could total $259 million, which is more than 100 times the current program size. This is truly a program where you reap what you sow. And finally, I'll point to 3 main pieces of testimony submitted under Senate Bill 5526 that I encourage you to review. The first is a sign-on letter showing support from over 300 markets, farms, small businesses, and food system advocates across the state. The second is a progress report sharing the impact of state funding received last biennium. And the third is the economic impact assessment, which I referenced today. We are able to leverage every dollar that the state invests for matching federal funds. So thank you for your continued support.
Thank you so much. So next is Zakiel Darwash, and if I called your name, please raise your hand to make sure you're online so we know you're there. All right, go ahead. And meanwhile, 2 of you make it up here. Okay.
Thank you, Chair. For the record, my name is David Zakiel. I'm one of the founder and community director at the Afghan Support Network, and I'm also former culture advisor and interpreter for the East Army of Afghanistan. I'm here today in support of SB 149, and I'm asking you to prioritize protecting Oregonians in our immediate needs in our state budget, including funding resettlement services for new Oregonians. We can create infrastructure to help support new Oregonians arriving now in order to ensure that they can achieve their own goals of successfully contributing to our state. An amendment SB 149 will create a coordinated system of reception. It will provide the resources needed for Oregonians who have arrived seeking safety and protection so they can find housing, healthcare, employment, and education opportunities. This bill, should the legislature fund it, will provide both funding and opportunities for ODHS to pursue additional funding, which will elevate the strain of our mainstream system, particularly as those systems may face budget cuts. Most asylum seekers and refugees only require temporary shelter and short-term rental assistance, along with culturally appropriate case management to stabilize. This investment can prevent future strain on the emergency system, and this bill makes extended case management possible for those who need a little extra support. Please don't pass any tax breaks for corporation or wealthy Oregonians when we need every dollar of vital services. Please fund services for resettling new Oregonians and allies who serve this country and have contributed to our shared cause. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, so I see Stephanie Smith, and then, okay, don't raise your hand if I didn't call you. All right, so Stephanie Smith, you're gonna go next, and then we're gonna go in person here. Go ahead.
Co-chairs Lieber and Sanchez, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Stephanie Smith. I'm an employment specialist at Abilities at Work, a nonprofit that provides vocational services to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I'm here to ask you to support increased funding for IDD services in the DHS budget. Of all the clients I work with, there's one person who loves her job about as much as I love mine. Even when she's going through what she calls her ups and downs, she always brings her best to work. Those ups and downs get in the way of fulfilling her job duties, but with job coaching support, she's able to work through them. She takes so much pride in her work, her paycheck, her position. She's about my age, but she's talked about retiring there. The future is part of my job. Sometimes after I finish job coaching, I'm approached by a stranger who starts describing a family member who has a disability. There's so much love in the way these strangers talk about their family and so much fear. We live in a world that is not kind to people with disabilities. But when these people see a job coach, they see the possibility of support, security, and independence for the ones they love. They believe in that possibility enough to start talking to a total stranger. I believe in that possibility too. So it really guts me that in order to believe in this future, I have to ignore the red flags in mine. If I went back to customer service or office work, I could expect a wage that rises with the cost of living. Instead, job coaches like me forego their own financial security to help other people find theirs, and that's not sustainable. When I look at my own future, I see a day when I have to choose between the job I love and a living wage, and that's scary. And it only gets bleaker because without job coaching support, my client will lose her job over those ups and downs. At this rate, neither of us will get to retire doing what we love, and our communities will be worse for it. Please, fully fund IDD services and DSP wages. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Okay, so hold on, before we go to you, I'm gonna put a few people on deck remotely. It's Aaron Ratzlaff, Tamara Bakewell, Kimberly Atice, Lisa Childs. Please raise your hand if you're here, and I'm gonna go to you all.
Good evening, Co-Chair Lieber and Sanchez, and members of the committee. My name is Johnny Earl, and I'm the president of SEIU 503. I'm here today to ask you to prioritize protected Oregonians and our immediate needs in our state budget. Specifically, to invest in the dedicated frontline workers who make Oregon strong and deliver critical services. We're at a turning point for who we are as Oregonians and as a state, and the budget will help us define our paths forward. I'm here to remind you that the backbone of our state and our economy is the people out there keeping our roads safe, helping families in need, and fighting wildfires and doing thousands of jobs that make Oregon strong. This is a time to double down on the core services we provide as a state in the face of unprecedented assaults from the federal government. We need to be bold, we need to stay the course. Please continue to hold the line on making unnecessary cuts based on speculations on what will happen in DC, which would be a signal to billionaires that you're willing to help cover the cost of tax breaks for the very wealthy by cutting the basic services that serve as a lifeline for our vulnerable people. If the worst happens in the future, Oregon has a rainy day fund, although today is not raining. The sun is shining on Oregon's future. We shall cross the bridge hand in hand in time of trouble. When the time comes, we'll work together to deal with whatever comes our way. Please prioritize the state budget and that protects Oregonians rather than adding to the chaos and confusion of the federal budget process. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Co-chairs Lieber and Sanchez and members of the committee. My name is Melissa Unger, and I'm the executive director of SEIU Local 503. And I just want to recognize all the caregivers who are both here testifying today, and the parents and the children who are here, because it's just amazing to be surrounded by people who every day spend their lives doing care or support for the people in our communities who need it. And the reality is I've had the opportunity over the last couple of weeks to go across our state and talk about the core program that funds this care, no matter how you do it or where you do it, which is Medicaid. And that program is so key to our overall budget and lifting up the services that are so critical in every community in our state. And the people who provide that care, whether you do it in home, whether you do it in a facility, however you do it, are often overlooked and undervalued. And what we need to lift up the services and Medicaid and the people who do the work and the consumers who need the care. So I've been proud to be in every region, and everything I've heard is why this program lifts people up. I was in Eugene on Saturday, and there was a kid named Devin, who's autistic, who's about to graduate from the University of Oregon after 7 years. Talk about the opportunity Medicaid has given him to live a life of freedom, a life where he sees a future, where he gets to live in a community, in a house, and have a future where he's independent. And I just think that program is so important. So as right now, we are going to need 65,000 more caregivers across the state by 2030 to meet the growing demand for these programs. And without enough care workers, there's not enough people who can get the care that they need. And as many workers have said already, there's that many people can't stay in this profession because they cannot afford to. And literally, care can't wait. So as we don't know, there's lots of unknowns, as Johnny said, we need to invest in this program that Oregon has made sure allows people to live with independence, dignity, and respect. And make sure that that's true for their caregivers too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Aaron Ratzliff, you are going to go next, but let me call a few people. Kathy Lamar, Bruce Anderson, Miriam Forney, and Jack Halsey, please make your way to F. And Aaron Ratliff, you're going to go, and Tamara Bakewell, you're on deck. Tamara, you're up, and then on deck is Kimberly A. Tice.
Great, thank you. Hi, my name is Tamara Bakewell. I work with the Oregon Family to Family Health Information Center, which is a small federally funded peer program that supports families of children and youth with special health needs. Over the last 14 years, our little team of parent partners have spoken to literally hundreds of families who qualify for Oregon's Children with Exceptional Needs program, or the CEN program. The existing CEN program has been a good start at solving a long-standing problem here in Oregon. It's provided some relief for some families. But I'm here tonight to urge Oregon to take the next step to support and fund Senate Bill 538, also known as Tensley's Law. Without Tensley's Law, more than 1,500 Oregon children can't access their promised Medicaid services. These services have been promised to families for many years. However, they've never been utilized due to an insufficient and sometimes unreliable attendant care workforce. But with Tensley's Law, without Tensley's Law, families may be forced to consider out-of-home placements. The advocates who have worked so hard on this subject deserve our thanks. They've thoughtfully and thoroughly pulled back the curtain on the systemic, fiscal, and personal realities that families have caring for children with extreme caregiving needs. But enacting Senate Bill 538 and funding it fully will correct these past inequities. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Kimberly A. Tice, and then on deck is Lisa Child.
Thank you. My name is Kim Tice, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Oregon Center for Children and Youth with Special Health Needs, or OCHN. OCHN's Oregon's Title V public health agency for children and youth with special health care needs, or SHIN, who are those children with or at risk for physical, emotional, developmental, or behavioral conditions. Approximately 1 in 5 young Oregonians has a special health care need, and we strongly support 2 funding priorities that will improve lives for these children and their families. SB 538, also known as Tensley's Law, and the Coalition of Local Health Officials, or CLO's budget request for Babies First and Cocoon Nurse Home Visiting programs. Tensley's Law promotes health equity by providing up to 40 hours of paid parent caregiving to all eligible families of children with the most significant disabilities, allowing these children to receive the care they are entitled to despite persistent workforce shortages. Paid parent caregiving works, improving health outcomes for medically fragile children and potentially preventing costly out-of-home placements and reducing healthcare costs. States have a legal obligation to provide these personal care services to eligible children, and Tensley's Law is the only proposed solution to allow Oregon to meet this obligation. Cocoon and Babies First are nurse home visiting programs that each year, for over 30 years, have been working with thousands of Oregon's most vulnerable families. Cocoon serves children up to age 21 and their families, while Babies First serves people prenatally and families with children up to age 5. Both programs connect families to essential services and supports and partner with them to ensure they have the knowledge and tools needed to promote optimum health for their families. These programs operate out of the local public health authorities in more than 25 of Oregon's 36 counties, and the co-budget request will help stabilize these essential programs and increase the number of families these programs can serve. So in the interest of children and youth with disabilities in Oregon, please support and fund SB 538 and the co-budget request for Babies First and Cocoon. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you so much. I don't, Lisa, you were on deck, but I don't see you. All right, so we're gonna make 2 of you come up, and then I'm gonna call on deck, online, James Beans, Aaron Martin, Fournay, Maylee Browning, Mark Boswell. Please raise your hand if you're here. And then I'm gonna call 2 more people who are supposedly in the house. Thomas Pryslack and Sharon Looney. Make your way to F. All right, please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kathy Lamar, and I work and live here in Salem. And I'm here to ask for funding for state workers' wages and benefits. I work for the Department of Justice, and I've been there for 26 years, and I'm a child support case manager. A few years ago, I finally was able to make ends meet and be able to pay for incidentals out of pocket. Yay! I topped out a long time ago, and thankfully the COLAs helped me to slowly get there. In 2020, when COVID hit, my husband was laid off. He was unemployed for over 2 years. And with my COLAs and our stimulus payments, along with credit cards, we were able to get by. He was hired back at his company as a temp without benefits. And in late 2023, he finally, we were able to, last year in November, he was finally permanently hired. And I was able to apply my 2022 COLA, cost of living expense, to my optional retirement plan, but my hopes to do that again this year were dashed. We have credit cards to pay. The utilities have gone way up thanks to PG&E, and the cost of food increased by about $300 a month. We bought our house in 2008, and thank goodness, because the house next to us now their rent is actually almost double what our mortgage payment is. So we had to replace our 30-year bathtub this January. So much for my COLA. So state employees are drowning. We need to be paid enough to pay rent, utilities, food, and other expenses. Invest in those who make this state great to work in and don't hold back. We don't know what the future holds, and what ifs aren't going to work right now. We are drowning. We need raises now, and we need to survive now. People are living in their cars. They're applying for SNAP because they have to. We shouldn't have to be living that way.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Jack Halsey. I'm Executive Director of Oswego Lake Watershed Council, and I'm here in support of a capital funding request for the West Willamette Watersheds Collaboration. Watershed councils are community nonprofit organizations, and most of Oregon has watershed council coverage. These organizations provide critical services that result in benefits for people, wildlife, and our communities, as well as improving water quality and fish habitat. Several areas within Oregon have critical gaps in these watershed council services, including much of the Portland metro area on the west side of the Willamette, as well as Forest Park, areas of Lake Oswego, Westland, and Wilsonville. And we're working with these jurisdictions, as well as private landowners and community partners, to expand watershed council coverage to fill these large areas that are currently uncovered. And we have support from City of Lake Oswego, City of Portland, as well as Wilsonville and Westland. So I thank you for your time and urge your support of this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna call a couple more people to come in person. And then, let's see, Kathleen is tutor, Carrie Johnson, Terry Scott, and Teresa Weisner. Go ahead and make your way to F. And then James Beans, you are on, and Aaron Martin Fournier, you're on deck. You're here.
Hello, my name is James Beans. I'm here on behalf of Camas Valley Rural Volunteer Fire District. We'd like to respectfully request $190,000 to help us purchase 18 sets of firefighter turnouts and 10 self-contained breathing apparatuses, or SCBAs. Much of our current turnout gear is up to 20 years old, even though the NFPA safety standards limited its service life to 10 years. This gear has been exposed to years of fire, smoke, and heavy use, and in many cases no longer provides the protection it should. Our SCBAs, the air packs that allow us to safely breathe in smoke-filled and hazardous environments, are also dangerously outdated. They're too old to refurbish, and replacement parts are no longer available. Without dependable SCBAs, we can't safely send our firefighters into burning buildings or toxic conditions. As a small rural department, our annual budget is extremely limited. We can typically afford to purchase just one set of turnouts or one SCBA each year, which makes it nearly impossible to keep up with the growing needs and rising equipment costs. At the same time, our call volume continues to increase, and our volunteers are responding to more medical emergencies, fires, and rescues than ever before. We've tried many ways to get the equipment we need, including relying on hand-me-downs from larger departments. In the past, that's helped us stretch our resources, but with equipment becoming more expensive and being used harder and longer at all levels, these donations are harder to come by and often not in usable condition. All of our firefighters are volunteers serving our community at no cost. That allows our limited funding to be focused on operations, training, and maintenance, but we're still falling behind. Providing them with as much needed equipment will allow them to do their job safer and more efficiently, whether it's entering a burning home, performing a rescue, or supporting neighboring departments during a large incident. These men and women give their free time without anything in return. The least we can do is make sure they have the right gear to keep them safe while they protect our community. Any and all support is welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Aaron Martin Fournier, I don't see you, Aaron. I'm going to go to Maylee Browning and Mark Boswell. If you're here, raise your hands, please.
Hi, my name is Maylee Browning. I'm the Legislative Director for the Oregon Criminal Defense Lawyers Association, here in support of HB 5031. I first want to start out by saying we passed a major legislative deadline, as you all know, and certain bills did not make it, and certain bills did. Bills that have made it are bills that increase crimes, expand crimes, or increase punishment. Bills that did not make it are a House bill and House judiciary that would have given courts discretion to reduce certain misdemeanors to violations. A discovery procedure bill did not make it out of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and also a specialty court bill did not make it out of Senate Judiciary, which would have allowed more people to get into treatment courts and not have DAs be the gatekeeper of those treatment courts. So I just urge this body to think when we are in a current service level situation here, that the legislature is creating new crimes, but not creating a way to move cases out of the system and make processes more efficient. I'm here to support the public defense budget. The governor's recommended budget included an addition of 40 attorneys to the state trial level division and maintaining current service level for contracted providers. I'm here to urge the committee to consider increasing funding for the current service level providers. Those are your nonprofit offices, your consortia, and your law firms. Without increasing funding for them, there would be no one to train the next generation of attorneys. Currently, the state trial level division, although I'm sure they can train attorneys, they're not set up to do so, and it would be expensive for them to do so. So as we're in this unrepresented crisis right now, it'd be more cost efficient to increase funding for nonprofits, consortia, and law firms. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, Mark, I don't see you. So we are going to...
Hello? Hi. Mark. So Mark...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Hello, yes. Yeah, sorry. So we're the ODOT compound shop. They're all on the layoff list, and we registered as a group. Okay. So I'm introducing Tyler and Randy. Mark Boswell isn't actually here, okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and give it to these guys here. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
This is the ODOT shop off the I-5 corridor in Salem.
Alright, thank you guys. We just wanted to reach out.
Introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Tyler Coakley.
I'm Randy Buck here.
So we just wanted to reach out and say our entire shop here in Salem was on a layoff list. So we're just hoping ODOT can get some funding. We're hoping it'll be done in the right way. They want to cut the boots on the ground. So hopefully, you guys can look at that and see that the boots on the ground is who's doing the road work and keeping everyone safe when they're traveling. So that's my part. I just wanted you guys to keep that in mind.
Yeah, our position is heavy equipment mechanic, so we actually keep the trucks on the road. Plows going, middle of the night, winter storms, we get called in at all hours. We're essential personnel, yet we are on the chopping block. Same with the sign shop that puts up the end signs, stop signs, could be anytime, middle of the night, creates accidents, safety, yet we're always on the list. So hope you take that into account and help us keep our jobs so we can help keep the roads safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna call a few more people remote. Kate Miller, Tim Miller, Jim Harrison, Penny Feltner, please raise your hand. And to come into, well, here we have Peter Zupan, Lisa Harnish, Rachel Lamette. Please come in person and you can go.
All right. Thank you, Co-Chairs Sanchez and Lieber, members of the committee. Thanks for the opportunity to join you here tonight, and thank you for your time and service to the state of Oregon. Really appreciate it. For the record, my name is Bruce Anderson. I'm the Deputy CEO of Liberty House, which is the Children's Advocacy Center here for Marion and Polk counties. I'm here tonight to testify in support of funding for CACs, which can be found in House Bill 3196 and DOJ's POP 327. First, I really appreciate being able to join you here at the Capitol during Child Abuse Prevention Month. Oregon's 24 Children's Advocacy Centers provide statutorily mandated services like child abuse medical exams. CACs receive funding from multiple streams, state, federal, and private donations, all of which are facing extreme instability. We really need the legislature to act now to protect children's access to these critical services. CACs and other victim services providers need $18.5 million in state funding to backfill 42% federal cuts to the Victims of Crime Act, or VOCA. House Bill 3196 has the funding to offset these cuts, as well as $3 million for children or court-appointed special advocates CASAs. Without action, these cuts will gut CACs and many other victim services. Vital funding can also be found in DOJ's POP 327, which includes $6 million for children's advocacy centers. That amount tracks with funding Oregon's 24 CACs, which we have received each of the last 2 biennia, which has allowed CACs to serve more kids affected by abuse and trauma. If House Bill 3196 and POP 327 don't move forward, the state will take a giant step backward in its commitment to providing critical services to abused children who desperately need them. It will drastically diminish the capacity of CACs to provide essential support and leave many abuse victims without access to trauma-informed care. Thanks for your support and time tonight.
Thank you. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Co-Chair Lieber and Co-Chair Sanchez. My name is Carrie Johnson. I'm the president of the Mid-Willamette Family YMCA Veterans Housing. I'm also on the board of the YMCA in Albany. I'll refer to the group from here as the Albany Y Vets Housing Simplified. 2 years ago, a group of us from Albany toured Courtney Place, the Salem YMCA Veterans Housing project across the street. Like everyone who's toured Courtney Place, we were very impressed and asked ourselves, why can't we do this in Albany? We set up a 501c3 internal to the Albany Y and selected a board of directors, mostly of veterans, to proceed to work with Representative Bosshart Davis and Senator Gelser on securing pre-development funds for the Albany Veterans Housing. Salem has 32 units. We are planning 38. Thankfully, Representative Bosshart Davis and Senator Gelser, along with this of your support, granted us $1 million in pre-development funds, which we received last summer. Our focus is the same as Courtney Place, targeting 60% average median income. So these are permanent homes for the veterans who will live there. We hope to mirror the massive success happening at Courtney Place, and we will also be providing wraparound services to help support the residents once we open. Our group identified the land, we raised the community support and raised the funds to pay for the land. And recently our project was fully accepted by the Oregon Housing and Community Services Organization, and we were in line to receive $10.3 million for this project. As we have gotten to the details of the development with the fluctuating world pricing on supplies, we assessed that we were approximately $3.3 million short of funding for the veterans apartments. Working with Representative Bossart Davis and others, we submitted a request to you in hopes that you will help fund that gap of $3.3 million. Today, we are asking for your continued support of this important affordable housing complex, which will be 100% focused in need of stable housing.
Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna go back online. I don't see any hands, so I'm struggling here. There's Tim, all right. Tim, on deck, Jim Harrison.
Good evening. My name is Tim Miller, and I'm the Director of Oregon Business for Climate. We're a statewide group of businesses that see both the imperative and the opportunity of taking bold action on climate change. We applaud your hard work developing a smart budget for the state and urge you to lean in with a pro-Oregon investment model. As you said, we've entered a time of federal chaos and economic uncertainty. While the whole country is bracing for impact, it was just reported this week in the Business Journal that Portland landed at the bottom of a long list of cities in the Consumer Sentiment Index during the first quarter of 2025. People are concerned. It is critical that our state budget, a reflection of our priorities and our willingness to invest in our people and communities and economy, helps build resilience rather than adding to that sense of chaos and concern. Business leaders understand the challenges of building a budget, especially in times of uncertainty. Of course, the cautious instinct is to restrict the budget, but there are also smart times to lean in and invest from whatever sources you have, especially when you know that investments that you make at the state level are multiplied throughout our economy and especially needed by our most vulnerable communities. What does that mean specifically? First, we need to fund our existing programs, not just at continuing service levels. Instead, I'm talking about actually re-upping funding for the critical programs this legislature passed over the recent years to build climate resilience, drive economic growth, and protect our communities. Examples include our heat pump programs, expansion of our one-stop shop energy efficiency program, solar programs, our Natural and Working Lands Fund. This also includes incentives for businesses to electrify their fleets and their medium and heavy-duty trucks. At an agency level, we ask that you sufficiently fund DEQ and ODO to effectively implement our climate protection program and our 100% clean energy law. We appreciate all you can do to not add to the federal chaos and stress. Rather take a leadership and investment mindset with a state budget that helps stabilize and boost our economy and support our communities. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right. Is Jim Harrison or Penny Feltner there? I don't see you.
Yes, Penny's here.
Oh, great. All right, Penny, go ahead.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Penny Feltner, and I'm the program manager for the Upper Willamette Working Lands program at the Coast Fork Willamette Watershed Council in Lane County. The Working Lands program was created to provide specialized support to farmers serving their working farm and ranch lands. Today, I'm here in support of the proposed biennium budget for the Oregon Agricultural Heritage Program through HB 3131. Our working farm and ranch lands have a threefold task. First, to produce food and materials for our communities. Second, to maintain economic value as businesses. And third, to protect our natural resources and steward the ecological values that exist on these private lands. This is a lot of responsibility to put on individuals. Our program's research has further verified that, to no one's surprise, local producers are often overwhelmed and struggle to fully meet the demands of all three of these areas. State funding plays a crucial role in helping programs like ours support farmers in achieving this triple bottom line. The Oregon Agricultural Heritage Program is positioned to provide strategic and tangible solutions to ultimately make it possible for farm managers to not have to sacrifice economic viability to benefit the environment, or vice versa. Farms produce so much more than the products that end up on our plates. They produce water quality and soil carbon, biodiversity, and other benefits, the value of which does not end up in farmers' pockets. Funding the Oregon Agricultural Heritage Program is one way our state can recognize, support, and protect the vital function of our farmlands and the work of our land stewards. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, I don't see anybody else online, but let me call a few people who are online. Linda Brown, Derek Olson, Julie Williams, Laura Latham, please raise your hand. And let's get a few more people in here. Ann McVeigh, come to F, please. Ashley Arrington, Chad Ludwig, and Janet UC also come.
All right. Coaches Lieber and Sanchez, members of the committee. My name is Lisa Harnish, and I'm the Executive Director of the Marion and Polk Early Learning Hub, and I am also co-chair for the Early Learning Hub Association. Oregon's 16 early learning hubs blanket the state and convene, connect, and capacity build the services and supports for families during the critical period starting prenatally to age 5. I'm here today to testify in support of critical investments proposed in early childhood. In this fiscal year, when we have to focus on preserving and protecting our current work as a state investments in the early childhood are the best use of our limited resources to prevent us from losing ground and allow us to continue to prevent adverse and costly outcomes later in life. I want to specifically highlight Senate Bill 1167 and the $11.8 million dedicated to the Upstream Initiative or Child Success Model. Thank you, Leader Bowman and Senator Reynolds, for your partnership and support of Governor Kitzhaber on this work. My Early Learning Hub is a grantee of this program, and these funds will allow us to better coordinate and develop prenatal to age 3 care and assist families in understanding and connecting with these available and crucial services. Literacy is and needs to be a primary focus for the state. I also want to bring to your attention to investments made last session, which are critical to continue. One of those investments is the Imagination Library. Since doing so, in the Marion and Polk region, over 7,500 children have books delivered to their home every month. The Department of Early Learning Care proposes investing $2.2 million in this program this year, which would allow us to recruit families who need access to literacy the most.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Chad, you're up. And Linda Brown, you're on deck.
Hello there, good evening. I am Chad Ludwig. Nice to meet you. I've met many of you already. There's 9 different deaf people here in this room using our services. I'm the executive director and founder of Bridges Oregon. I'm here as a proud member of Oregon's deaf community and as a representative of Bridges, the only statewide nonprofit organization in our state that is linguistically and culturally rooted in serving the deaf, blind, and hard of hearing Oregonians in their heritage languages, including American Sign Language, Pro-Tactile, and other sign-spoken modalities. The deaf community in Oregon continues to face serious and systemic barriers to accessing information, healthcare, and public services due to widespread non-compliances with the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA. Unlike other cultural and language groups, deaf individuals are protected under federal disability law, which guarantees the right to effective communication, not as a service, but as a legal accommodation. However, many agencies and providers in Oregon either misunderstand or fail to meet these obligations, resulting in ongoing harm, exclusion, and risk to deaf individuals. Bridges is working to bridge this gap, providing training, advocacy, and education to service providers and policymakers to ensure these civil rights are understood, respected, and upheld. This long-standing oversight must be addressed through stronger enforcement and continued partnership with organizations like Bridges to protect the rights and dignity of deaf Oregonians. From advocacy to case management to communication facilitation and community navigation, our staff, many of whom are deaf and hard of hearing themselves, meet clients where they are with services that honor their language, culture, and lived experiences. Without sustained dedicated state funding, this work is at risk. The needs are growing, especially in rural and underserved areas, but the resources are not. We are stretched thin, and yet we continue to show up every day because we know what's at stake, the human right to be seen, heard, and understood. So I urge this committee to prioritize equitable funding for organizations like Bridges Oregon that are not just serving but empowering our communities, our identities, and access to opportunity. Thank you very much for your time and investing in Oregon, where to make sure that everyone has a voice.
Thank you so much. All right, Linda Brown, and on deck is Derek Olson. Is Linda there? No. All right, let's go. Julie Williams, and then on deck is Laura Lantham.
Hello, my name is Julie Williams. I am the founder and director of Seeds for the Soul. We disperse energy efficiency incentives and heat pump funds to Oregonians struggling to make ends meet. My staff encounters people living in unimaginable conditions, often in manufactured homes in great need of repair. And we see people huddled in 2 rooms with blankets hanging throughout the home to keep the heat in. And we encounter people with $300 and $400 winter bills due to inefficient heating and no method for cooling. When out of the Energy Trust regions, there used to be nothing we could do for these people at all. The Community Heat Pump Deployment Program funding is a game changer. For example, we received a call from a rural couple that raised their family on wood heat. As they aged in place, the woodshed got more and more difficult for them, and they were panicked. Thankfully, we were able to utilize the CHIP DIP funding to provide them with a heat pump that could heat and cool their homes and filter the air. We later received a sweet note from the wife telling us how much the heat pump helped them. Our CHIP DIP clients often contact us after installs and share that their homes have never been so comfortable, or that their energy bills have dropped significantly. And we get comments like, "We never could have done this without your help." One client said it best. They said, "Finally, I feel like a government agency actually sees and supports me." Our current budget has no investment in this program or its counterpart to home renters. These upgrades are life-changing and more urgent than ever, with utilities raising our rates and our climate growing more and more extreme. Please reinvest $15 million into the CHIP DIP and $30 million into the rental home heat pump program to maintain services for the next 2 years. These really are game changers and serve every Oregonian. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Laura Latham, you're up, and then Derek Olson, you're on deck.
My name is Laura Latham. I'm a middle school social studies teacher in the Phoenix Talent School District in Southern Oregon. And in my 5th period class, I have 31 6th grade students. And each day, I try my best to provide critical knowledge of government, civics, history. But in that class of 31 students, I have 7 students with special education needs, 5 who are English language learners, and 2 who are talented and gifted. The reading level in my class ranges from kindergarten level to 8th grade. My students who have special needs in that class don't have an aide to work with them, don't have access to a reading specialist that they could work with at school. And each day I do my best, but I still feel like I fail them because I don't have the resources that I need to give them a high quality education that they can access at their level that they deserve. I do my best to duct tape and glue together what I can for these kids who deserve a fully funded education and to not have them struggle because of a special education cap that they know nothing about that exists at 11% when our district has 17% of students who need special education services. Please invest in supporting our students with disabilities by removing the special education cap, and please do not consider tax breaks for corporations or the ultra-wealthy that would continue to exacerbate the struggles that my community in rural Oregon and families across our state already do face. Thank you so much for all you do for Oregon families and Oregon children every day, and please support our students with disabilities by removing the special education cap.
Thank you. All right, Derek Olson. Derek Olson, you're up.
Co-chairs Lieber and Sanchez, apologies, there seems to be a camera issue. Members of the committee, my name is Derek Olson and I'm the president of World Oregon, previously the World Affairs Council of Oregon, celebrating 75 years of connecting Oregon with the world. I testify today requesting $500,000 in state funding this biennium for World Oregon to continue to leverage federal funding and provide our work statewide. To implement our mission, we convene speakers on international issues, bring world connections to K-12 schools, and host international visitors.
In collaboration with the U.S. Department of State, World Oregon hosts hundreds of international leaders each year to connect, learn, and engage with local communities to open doors for increased cultural and international trade ties and meaningful people-to-people exchange. The federal funds we receive to administer the program generate an impressive 11-to-1 return on investment for local economies and spending across Oregon's hotels, restaurants, transportation sector, and retail stores. I've uploaded online a handout and infographic with details. Our current federal funding is at great risk due to budget challenges and spending freezes. State funding is essential to help make these international connections statewide. $500,000 in state funding would allow rural Oregon to expand our outreach and programming in rural and micropolitan areas. By partnering with local schools, small businesses, and community leaders, we seek to provide these communities with the same economic benefits and global exposure as larger metropolitan areas. World Oregon works extensively with state economic development partners such as Business Oregon, the Oregon Department of Agriculture, the Port of Portland, and Travel Oregon, as well as with other Oregon universities. While based in Portland, our statewide mission seeks to expand and engage the benefit of all Oregonians. We have brought international leaders to all the regions where the committee is hosting hearings, in addition to here in Salem and in Portland. Such investment in rural Oregon will be a win-win-win, leveraging federal funds, bringing world-class opportunities to rural Oregon, and providing a meaningful economic boost to local communities for education, speaker events, and international leaders. Thanks for your consideration.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to call a few more people online. Sally Lynchfield, Jonathan Stinnett, Claire Sarrett, and Eric Wold. And a few more people to come in to F. Aaron Dukes, Ashley Carson, Jane Turville, Felicity Ratway. Well, two more. Which one? Tom Forney and Angie Harris. Okay, all right.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Janet Yazzie, and I have the privilege of serving as CEO at Shangri-La. We are a nonprofit organization supporting 1,000 people annually with disabilities and families with disadvantages. I'm here with a few asks today. First, I'm going to plead with you to fund services for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Despite inflation, IDD services have seen less than 3% in increases over the last 5 years. Here's what that means. We haven't been able to give a cost of living increase to our amazing, hardworking team of direct support professionals. This means that people with disabilities experience a revolving door of staff who support them. Finally, and this is important, our employee engagement survey shows that our team of 350 people love their work, and they know they make real differences in real people's lives. Yet, the #1 complaint is wages. Despite the fact that at Shangri-La, we pay a starting wage of more than the average funded wage in our rate model. It's just not enough. Please don't put us in the position to not be able to provide increases to our DSPs this year. Please fund IDD services. Second, at Shangri-La, we have a goal to open 5 additional residential treatment homes to serve people with significant and persistent mental illness, which would serve 25 additional Oregonians with SPMI. Unfortunately, our funding doesn't cover home purchases and remodels. Please consider grants and startup funding to support building capacity in the behavioral health system. And finally, please prioritize adding cost of living increases for organizations, often nonprofits, who receive state and federal funding. I humbly request adding a cost of living increase into all rate models that matches the cost of living increases state employees receive. We often go years without cost. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You go ahead.
My name is Jane Turner, and I'm a grants officer with Medical Teams International, and our medical care disaster preparedness program is funded through a grant from the Public Health Modernization Program. And you know, there's some truly wonderful work going on in Oregon around preparing for natural or man-made disasters. And all the way from state level down to small rural communities, folks are getting together, building networks to address how we care for each other in times of crisis. But we've discovered that there is a significant gap, and this in the network, in how we care for the medically fragile during times when people must leave their homes and seek shelter and support elsewhere. So that's where our program comes in. We work with counties and cities across the state to train local volunteers and stakeholders in caring for folks who need additional medical care and support during emergencies and evacuations. This can be anywhere from getting a prescription filled to monitoring potential hypertension risks to just providing a safe and quiet place for someone who's pregnant. We are excited to do this work, and we hope to continue to working in each county in Oregon. Our grant from the Public Health Modernization Program allows us to do this work. If we didn't have the grant, we wouldn't have the program. It just wouldn't exist. Neither would over 160 other programs that help Oregonians help each other. While I know that you have huge decisions ahead of you, I ask that you continue to invest in the Public Health Modernization Program. It truly does save lives. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go back on the line. Let's see. Well, Eric Wold is the only hand I see up. Go ahead, Eric. And then on deck, if you're there, Claire Stearnet. Hey.
Good evening. My name is Eric Wool. I am from Eugene, and I'm a board member of the Emerald Valley Pickleball Foundation. Our focal project is to construct a regional pickleball complex on the campus of Lane Community College to serve the entire community and its visitors. I'm speaking tonight as a representative of a collaboration of 7 nonprofit organizations called CORA. We have come together to request $6.3 million in lottery bond funding for 7 quality of life projects in rural and urban Lane County, including Oak Ridge, Cottage Grove, Eugene, and Springfield. As a collaborative, we have already raised 21 of the $27 million needed for the 7 projects. We are asking the state for the final $6.3 million. In other words, this will be completion funding, a one-time request for 7 shovel-ready projects. One of those projects is the pickleball complex at LCC. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the country, and it has been for the past 5 years, because it is easy to learn, it is inclusive of all abilities and backgrounds, it fosters social relationships and community cohesion, it is a great form of physical activity, and it is played by people of all ages, and you often see multi-generational groups playing. In short, it bolsters physical and mental health and wellness. But because of its rapid growth, there simply are not enough places to play. Because of this, the planned complex at LCC will remedy the situation and draw in tourists, for example, through tournaments, which will also add millions to the local economy. Importantly, the complex has been designed for maximum accessibility for players and spectators who use wheelchairs. In summary, I encourage you to support CORA's request for $6.3 million to complete 7 shovel-ready projects in Lane County that provide immense public benefit. Thank you for your service and for listening to my testimony this evening.
Thank you so much. All right, Claire, I see you. And then on deck would be Jonathan Stinnett.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is Claire Syret. I reside in Eugene. I'm also here speaking on behalf of CORA. I am the president of the Eugene Parks Foundation, a public-private partnership with the city of Eugene that increases access to parks, open space, and recreational opportunities in our region. I'm here to speak in support of the lottery-backed capital construction application submitted by the Coalition of Recreation, Arts, and Athletics, CORA, of which we are a member. This $6.3 million request would provide critical last-dollar funding for 7 projects in Lane County. Each of these projects represents an important investment in the health and well-being and community connections that benefit current and future generations of Oregonians. Each of the organizations in our coalition has already secured $21 million in local government and private sector funding for their respective projects, and our capital construction request would provide the last piece of funding to complete each project. The projects range from the installation of the only wheelchair-accessible boat ramp along the Willamette River to putting a roof on a vital community center in Oak Ridge that provides access to critical resources for an underserved population, funding a community reader board to provide emergency and community announcements to Cottage Grove residents, to increasing access to a new park in Eugene for people with disabilities, providing important intergenerational recreation opportunities through infrastructure investments at Lane Ice Sports and the building of a regional pickleball facility. And also enhancing opportunities to engage in arts and culture at the historic Shelton McMurphy Johnson House. These projects provide the opportunity for no or low cost, low barrier access to vital quality of life experiences in our community commons, whether that's getting out in nature, connecting with neighbors, vital resources, or accessing the arts. I thank you for this opportunity to share my passion for these projects with you and ask you to support CORE's application when it comes. Thank you.
So much. All right. Sally or Jonathan, are you there? I don't see you. All right, I'm going to call a few more people to come in to this hearing room. Beth Polito, Alexis Barton Castro, Shannon Beauclair, Allison Williams, Emily Woldrich, and Jenny Hall Peel. All right, and then online, Melanie Barker, Jamie Miller, Thomas Elschelman, and Renee Brandon.
Hi. Co-Chair Lieber, Co-Chair Sanchez, Vice Chairs, members of the committee. My name is Ashley Carson, and I'm the Executive Director for the Center for Hope and Safety, based here in Salem. We serve Marion County and part of Polk County. I'm here to urge support of funding for the specialized programs that support survivors of domestic violence and sexual violence and their children. In particular, I'm asking for the DOJ agency request budget to be fully funded, including POP 327 and the Victims of Crime Act funding in House Bill 3196. The POP in that budget keeps domestic violence service providers at our current service level. I'm also asking for the DHS self-sufficiency budget to include the continuation of increased temporary assistance for domestic violence survivors. I'm also asking for support for our Center for Hope and Safety capital construction request of $700,000 for critical repairs to our main advocacy office. And lastly, support for the services that we continue to provide adults in custody experiencing sexual assault. Last year, we had over 38,000 contacts to our program. We provided over 10,000 nights of emergency shelter and served over 11,000 survivors in person at our locations. When a survivor of violence needs our services and support, our advocacy office is where it all begins. The 24/7 hotline and direct advocacy happen in this location. Connections to emergency shelter, safety planning, clothing, food, and other critical support occurs at that advocacy office. The funding requests included in these agency budgets are crucial and life-saving for the people that we support on a daily basis. These funds to our programs are critical, or we're going to face layoffs in our. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
So much. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. All right. My name is Alexis Barton Castro. I'm the Executive Director of the Triumph Creek Watershed Council based in the Metro area. Earlier, you heard from my colleague Jack Halsey with Oswego Lake Watershed Council about our capital funding request for the West Willamette Watershed operation. Essentially, I'm here to talk about salmon. Earlier, we heard from a colleague from the Watershed Council in the Upper Willamette about the Agricultural Heritage Program, and I thought that was really cool that I wasn't the only Watershed Council group here today, because Watershed Councils work across boundaries and across jurisdictions and all sorts of land ownerships, right, public and private. And Watershed Councils, you know, were founded after salmon were listed as an endangered species, and they're an important first food. They're, you know, something that we all have a lot of pride and joy in supporting here in Oregon. And salmon have declined by 98%. And in a stretch, when you think about salmon migrating back in from the ocean in order to spawn and reproduce, all of the salmon that move through the whole Willamette River to go and spawn, say, in the Mackenzie, have to make it through the Portland metro area, which is geologically already kind of straight and simple, right? So those little confluence habitats where creeks meet the Willamette River are cold water refuges where fish will spend days or even weeks at a time. Triumph Creek, for example, is 12 degrees colder than the Willamette River in the summertime. So this West Willamette watersheds would allow Triumph Creek and Oswego Lake watershed councils to go through a 2-year process. The request is for $200,000 to work with stakeholders in cities of West Lynn, Wilsonville, Lake Oswego, and Portland to establish watershed council capacity in that area where residents right now don't have access to these resources, to this education. And really all of those places where fish take refuge off the Willamette, there isn't that watershed level planning, and we're able to work across those jurisdictions. So this would benefit a lot of people, a lot of Oregonians right in the metro area, and I thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you so much. All right, I have called Melina, Jamie, Thomas, or Renee, who should be virtual. Anybody? Okay, two of you guys up here. Okay, all right, fantastic. Go ahead. Is it Renee? Renee, you go.
Great, thank you. Good afternoon, Renee Brandon, Director of the Southern Oregon Early Learning Hub serving Jackson and Josephine counties in Southern Oregon. And I'm testifying on behalf of working families in Oregon. One of those parents has served on our governance council, and she is one of the 31% of Oregon workers with minor children. She is married and has a son with autism. They have no local family support, only one car, and both parents must work to cover rent. Because they cannot get access to childcare, they must work alternate schedules so that one parent is available at all times. This means that the father who works at night cannot sleep during the day because their son is awake and needs to be cared for. There are times when dad and son go to mom's work so dad can sleep on a camping mattress on the floor for an hour or so while mom attempts to work while keeping their son safe. Similar stories and worse are happening in Oregon right now due to lack of access to childcare. When our region started doing an analysis of access to and affordability of childcare, we found that 53% of the families in our region with children birth to 5 would qualify for a childcare subsidy, but that only 17% had access due to so few subsidized opportunities like Head Start, Preschool Promise, or employment-related daycare. When this mom heard this data, she cried. She said up until that moment, she thought that she and her husband must be doing something wrong, that they were not working hard enough. This is heartbreaking and unacceptable, and I urge you to prioritize funding for employment-related daycare so more hardworking families like this one can access childcare. The investment is good for Oregon's economy, and without it, all sectors and many families like this one will struggle. Thank you for the opportunity to share.
Thank you so much. Thomas Eshelman, are you there? Jamie Miller or Melina Barker?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, you're up.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Melina Barker. I'm the director of the Oregon Farm to School Network, and we're a community-driven network here in Oregon of about 2,000 folks across the state doing farm to school. Teachers, food producers, child nutrition professionals, support organizations, and as I think you all know, Oregon has a long-standing and very successful farm to school program. We were a leader in the nation in putting together a package that supports farm to school in a comprehensive way across our state. We have funding, as was mentioned earlier, in the Department of Education's budget and the Department of Agriculture's budget to support educational programs for students around food and nutrition and agriculture, to support child nutrition and purchasing local food for school meals, and to support food producers to be able to meet the demands of the school marketplace with specific pieces of equipment and infrastructure. Farm to School is a national movement, and we have sustained significant federal cuts to local food for schools and farm to school grants on a federal level. This makes our state program much more important that we sustain and expand what funding we have to offer here in our state. Farm to School has built over the years relationships and programs that students and food makers and teachers all depend on, and any instability in those relationships really has ripple effects. So we hear every day at the Farm to School Network how valuable these programs are, whether it's
academic learning in the garden, social emotional benefits of students having food and garden education, the economic benefits for farmers to establish those long-standing and stable relationships with schools for sales throughout the year. It's all like a very supportive and integrated system.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna call a few more people for online. Kelly Sloop, Sarah Hughes, Elizabeth Lally, Misty Telico. Please raise your hand. And we are going to call a couple more people to come in here before you guys go. Robert Miller, Amy Houghtaling, Shanoa Hammonds-Williams, and Joanne Furman. Please come in to the hearing room, and you're on.
Okay. Good evening, Co-Chair Lieber, Co-Chair Sanchez, and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Allison Williams, and I'm Hood River County Administrator. We truly appreciate the hard work of your committee in evaluating the budget needs of the state. Tonight, I'd like to focus on several bills that are critical for our county. First, we'd ask to include Hood River County's $85 million bond request in Senate Bill 5505 to fund the courthouse replacement program project. Our courthouse was ranked as one of the highest need facilities in the 2009 Oregon Courthouse Facilities Assessment. This assessment provided the framework for the state's partnership to ensure that failing courthouses across the state were addressed. House Bill 3940 is another critical bill for us. It provides fair and sustainable wildfire funding solutions for all citizens. Our county owns and actively manages 34,500 acres of forest for the benefit of our citizens. We're in Oregon's largest fire protection district and are facing a 53% increase in fire protection costs from fiscal year 23-26. Forest timber proceeds are used by our county to pay for basic services across our county. Another bill, House Bill 3518, will provide critical funding for assessment and tax collection. Our county collects taxes for several service districts, schools, cities, port districts, 911 communications, a transportation district in our county. We urge your support of this bill. The projected return on investment leaves no question in our mind for the payback. House Bill 5004 provides Department of Corrections funding and funds critical services for parole and probation, including the standing up of our new deflection program, which we're very proud of. Finally, we're very proud of our locally provided health department, which relies on our partnership with the state for carrying out critical health services, as was mentioned earlier with the healthcare modernization program. We're one of the smallest counties in the state. We have one of the lowest permanent property rates, and we thank you for your support. Thank you so much.
I am Shannon Beaucaire. I'm the city manager for the city of Carlton, a small but growing rural community of 2,300 in Yamhill County. And I'm here to speak about two capital construction requests. First, we're requesting $1 million to replace sewer lines on East Main Street in our community. This project was originally funded in the FY25 federal budget, but was eliminated with the continuing resolution. The 1920s and 1950s pipelines have ruptured at least twice in the last year, spilling sewage into yards, roadways, storm drains, and the nearby creek. Secondly, we're requesting $1.5 million to create a water loop system in our growing southeast area of town that surrounds our elementary school. This not only replaces aging infrastructure, but it supports an affordable housing project, as well as, and most importantly, provides fire protection for the elementary school. Because this is also directly linked to affordable housing, this is also an HB 3939. Carlton is doing everything it can to fiscally invest in its future, proactively and responsibly. Our residents have seen a 93% increase in their water and sewer rates in the last 6 years to fund infrastructure before crisis hits. And we've seen a lot of improvements in that time, but there's obviously still work to be done, and I am here in front of you today because of it. We've already felt the impact of these uncertain economic times and remain committed to the fiscal responsibility to our community while upgrading our core services that protect our community's health, safety, and housing affordability. And with your support and partnership, we can do just that. And so I thank you for your time and your consideration here tonight.
All right, thank you so much. All right, we're gonna go back online, but these two people should come up. And sit here for now. We're gonna go back online. Is Kelly Sloop there? Or Sarah Hughes? Elizabeth Lally? Misty Tellerico? All right. Yes, okay. Go Elizabeth Lally.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Lally. Thank you to the committee for being here. I have the privilege of working with 3 to 10-year-olds at Lynn Elementary in Southeast Portland as a social work intern with the PSU School Social Work Graduate Program. I get to see all of these kids excitedly attend school with their little backpacks and everything, and they come to school so excited to learn. But their teachers are overwhelmed with class sizes exceeding 25 students with high needs. They are being asked to teach bilingual classes in increasingly difficult conditions without the increased support. I want to add my voice to the others advocating for investment in public education. We need these specialized educators and support teams to provide the support that is so desperately needed to these classrooms. Without this team of strong educators, we are losing out on the opportunity to nurture our most vulnerable young people. I'm speaking not only on behalf of the schools in Portland Public Schools, but on behalf of all of Oregonians. Our public schools are some of the worst in the United States, and I would really hope to change that in this coming America. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, is anybody else remote here that I called? Okay, we're gonna go in person. Before I do that, we're gonna call a few more people. Oh, what? Yes, go.
My name's Beth Polito, and you actually called me in person. I don't know if I'm allowed to do it online.
You are absolutely allowed to go, Beth.
Thank you. Beth Polito, Deputy Director with the Amani Center, with the Child Advocacy Center serving Columbia County, and also partnering with the Lighthouse for Kids serving Clatsop County as a CAC in contract with them. I support everything that Bruce Anderson said tonight regarding House Bill 3196 and Prop 327, but I am here to discuss House Bill 5006, appropriations for capital projects that relates to our $800,000 request for funding for a permanent child advocacy center serving Columbia County. It's a $5.1 million project that we have currently raised $1.1 million for. We are shovel ready and have our building and land use all in the right works, pending full funding. We are currently working in an inadequate space to serve the needs of child victims of abuse and neglect and their non-offending parents and caregivers. We've seen a 30% increase in service needs over the past 5 years, with a continuing rise since 2020, as well as community rise in response for child sex abuse cases in our local schools and child serving businesses that have caused a public outcry for the need for preventative education and programs that we have been responsive to in an expedited manner. While we've made strides in launching all of these new programs, we still desperately need space. A new space of 8,000 square feet, doubles capacity to see kids for assessment programs, houses all of our staff in one place, and moves the location of our current location to a private, calm environment that's not in the main thoroughfare through town. We again are shovel ready and have submitted plans to our city for permitting, and we are seeking support to get this ready for our kids in Columbia County who so deserve the same equitable access. Thank you.
So much. I'm going to call a few more people remote. Tony Trin, Tracy Hodgkins, Enrique Ferreira, Hodgson, and Karen Stevens. Please raise your hand. I'm going to get a few more people in the room. Jamie Faraday, Andrew Colbert, Alexandria Miles, and Rosalie Pedroza. Please come
Okay. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Help me. You got this.
My ask of you today is to invest in Oregonians. I am one of the many state employees here today echoing this ask to invest in Oregon. Investing into your state employees has a twofold return on investment. First, the many roles we fill greatly impact the lives in this state. We risk our lives during wildfires, provide lifelines to families in need, keep our roads safe, care for our most vulnerable, and so much more. Every Oregonian is affected by our work, and we deeply care about the service we provide for the people of Oregon and take pride in our work. The second is when you pay to fund state programs, the wages paid put a face behind the services we provide. The wages paid to state employees goes right back into the economy and our communities. We spend our dollars at our local stores and markets. The wages paid give us state workers the ability to buy bread to put on our tables and feed our families. Now is the time to make the strategic investment into our communities. Reject tax breaks for the ultra wealthy and give everyday Oregonians the opportunity to thrive. My ask of you is to invest in me, my fellow state employees, in your community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, sir.
Good evening. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Rob Miller. I'm an orchardist and a small business owner in Mosier in the central area of the gorge. And I also sit on the Mosier District Fire District Board. I'm here on behalf of the City of Mosier and the Mosier Fire District in support of their joint request for $2.5 million to bridge the funding gap to accomplish a great project in Mosier, the Mosier Center, which will include a fire station, a public safety center, and a city hall, and all of which either non-existent or grossly inadequate facilities right now. Last summer I witnessed a wall of fire as it headed slowly toward my home and orchard from a frighteningly close distance, and towards the city of Mosier, which could easily have been eaten up by it. This wasn't the first time our part of the gorge is increasingly subject to fires. This project would reverse Mosier's aging infrastructure, and it would have a huge multiplier effect, underscoring the mutual aid agreements we have with neighboring towns to guarantee each other's safety and the economic vitality of the region. These towns are Hood River and the Dalles, among others. It would provide a huge step forward for fire safety and emergency medical care for decades to come. This funding is requested under HB 3870, but also requested under capital construction if the committee so deems. Since the oil train derailment and fire of 2016, Mosier's citizens have turned their fear to something constructive.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. All right. Okay, we're gonna move back online. Tony, Tran, you're up, and then Tracy Hodgkin, you're on deck.
Good afternoon, Ways and Means co-chairs, vice chairs, and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Tony Chen, and I'm a current student at Oregon State University. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today in support of House Bill 2997. In high school, I perceived college as a process that was difficult to navigate as someone with a first-generation immigrant background. As my senior year of high school approached, I had no guidance for my family or a plan for myself. Therefore, the beginning of college application season was very stressful. College Basketball played a vital role in my success with applying to college in several ways. The program helped me find scholarships, research skills, and create a financial plan. The key to my success, though, was being paired with a mentor through the organization who equipped me with the tools and knowledge I need to succeed. My coach guided me through the entire application process while reassuring me through the challenges that I encountered. So far, my college journey has been filled with new opportunities like joining the pre-dental club, becoming a college possible student board member, and participating in a research lab that advocates and spread awareness on the aftermath of cancer treatment in marginalized communities. As a biohealth sciences major, these involvements have allowed me to take steps closer to my dream career. For me, the value of college has always stuck in my family. As the first of my family to attend college, the primary motivation for pursuing higher education has always been to achieve something my family didn't have the luxury of experiencing. Beyond graduation, I hope to share this invaluable experience with them and honor the sacrifices they've made for me to receive a proper education. I believe college is more than just getting education. It's a chance for individuals to explore themselves and set themselves up for success in their careers. College Cost will guide me through the unfamiliar process of applying to college and help me plan for my future as a result. I'm prepared with the tools to graduate with a bachelor's degree and eventually apply to dental school. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Tracy, are you here? And then on deck is Enrique Ferreira. Hi, Tracy.
Yes, my name is Tracy Hodson. I'm a history instructor at Chemeketa Community College. Our students deserve educators that give them their full attention. That can be hard for part-time faculty teaching in Oregon's community colleges. This permanent underclass of educators want to have the time to meet students outside of class or develop class materials, but they struggle to do so. Paying part-time faculty is an existing service that the state pays for. Today, we're simply asking for an additional $40 million to the Community College Support Fund with HB 2669 so that we can overcome the disparity between full-time and part-time faculty compensation. When I think of these differences, I think about my part-time colleague, Sam. We started teaching at Chemeketa at about the same time. We had the same graduate degrees, and we both worked hard to develop our history classes. But our careers have taken a very different trajectory. As full-time faculty, I've been able to have a settled life. Sam, on the other hand, has struggled to earn enough to meet his basic needs. He's taught at multiple colleges and even worked for a time as a fishmonger at New Seasons. He shared with me that the fishmonger job actually paid more than Chemeketa. He has an old car, frequently drives it on empty because he doesn't always have the money for gas. Even after 25 years of teaching, he experiences job insecurity, which diverts his focus from his students. We request an additional $40 million for the Community College Support Fund and HB 2669 to pay our part-time faculty only now with pay parity. Please fund the Community College Support Fund at $920 million to avoid cuts, and please reject new Oregon tax breaks for corporations and the ultra-wealthy. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, Enrique Ferreira, and on deck virtually is Karen Stevens. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. For the record, my name is Enrique Ferreira, and I'm the Vice President of the Oregon Education Association and a classified member of Clackamas Community College. I am testifying today to urge you to fund Community College Support Fund at $920 million to avoid cuts to services, and an additional $40 million to fund HB 2669, pay parity for part-time faculty. In 2020, a survey conducted by AFD Oregon and OEA, and the responses were 93% of full-time faculty report having one job, whereas 48% of part-time faculty reported having a single job. Roughly 30% of part-time faculty report working 2 jobs. 1 in 6 report working 3 jobs, and some report working as many as 6 jobs. In the same survey, about half of the part-time faculty who had not previously retired from another job wants to work full-time. Part-time faculty teach the same students in the same courses with same expertise but receive less pay. As federal cuts are looming, a potential recession in the horizon, we note that if a recession comes, attendance at community colleges are going to skyrocket. At the same time, we actively losing faculty to Washington simply because Washington pays more, as we heard earlier. If we were going to weather this economic downturn, we need to invest in our faculty and invest in community colleges. We fight for pay parity in the bargaining table every single year, and they keep saying that the legislature doesn't provide the funding. And every single year we bargain hard. The reality is that the community colleges are the backbone of our communities. Please reject any tax breaks to the ultra wealthy corporations and increase funding so that we can pay our part-time faculty with the pay that they deserve. Please fund HB 2669. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I don't see Karen Stevens. All right, so we're gonna go back. Whoa, no, Karen, no. Okay, we're gonna go back in here. I believe you're the last two. Did I call you? All right. Okay, you're gonna be the last two. Okay, go ahead.
Go for it.
Good evening. My name is Joanne Furman. I am the co-founder and CEO of Partnerships Community Living. We provide supports to Oregonians with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I'm here today to ask you to prioritize funding for community providers and our direct support professionals so we can continue to provide those essential services to Oregon citizens with disabilities to live and thrive in their communities. The DHS rate study that was asked for by this body shows about a $558 million gap between the cost of services and what community providers are paid. This did not happen overnight. It's a result of chronic underfunding, and addressing that gap will be the start of putting this system right. While part of that rate study was funded with a $75 million SPA for PSWs, direct support professionals represented by the people sitting in this room were left behind. And you can see by that we have places in the back, we have people in the overflow rooms, and every single one of these people represent hundreds of other DSPs that can't be here because they're working. What our DSPs do is work 24/7, regardless of the weather, regardless of the pandemic, regardless of freezes, right? They show up, they're there for people. It's not just the fun stuff. They help people with everyday living, managing behavioral support challenges, their health issues, chronic illness. Their role is essential, and they deserve the pay to show that. I urge you to show the community provider system and the professionals that we employ that we value them, that you value fairness and equity in their wages, and increase the funding for people who do this work. I'd also like to ask you to pay attention to House Bill 2150. That's a great start for that will continue to provide cost of living increases, something our field has not had for years. While other provider systems, it's automatic, we've gone without it. So please fix that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Holbert. I'm the Executive Director of Courtney Place Veterans Housing. I'm also a Marine Corps veteran. Courtney Place is a 34-unit permanent affordable housing at 60% AMI. We serve just down the block away from you here, low-income veterans. And since opening on April 1st, 2024, we have remained at full capacity, reflecting the urgent need for veteran-specific housing rooted in dignity, structure, and long-term stability. We are a proven model where housing and healing happen under one roof. Veterans receive daily support from a dedicated case manager and a certified peer support specialist trained as a certified community health worker. Our targeted programming addresses food insecurity, medical access, job placement, and benefits navigation. In our first year, we have provided over 1,100 hours of peer support, mentorship, and crisis support, more than 80 medical transportation trips, including dialysis, oncology appointments, and other critical health care appointments, and have helped 6 of those veterans secure employment. We respectfully request $660,000 for the 2026-2027 biennium to continue this vital work. This investment will sustain our targeted comprehensive programming and operational infrastructure and build upon our early success, improving outcomes in housing stability, health equity, and community reintegration. Courtney Place is a statewide model of what can be achieved when we honor our veterans, not just with our words, but with enduring commitment. Your continued support ensures that Oregon veterans are not left behind, but instead are embraced with purpose, respect, and the opportunity to thrive. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. All right. All right. Getting towards the end, I want to thank everybody for staying, thank my colleagues for staying, and I appreciate everybody who is still here. All right. Come on up, whoever was. Okay. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, great.
Good evening, members of the committee, excuse me. My name is Alex Miles, and I have the incredible privilege to work alongside some of the most extraordinary and fragile members of our society.
My name is Jeannie.
Where do you live, Jeannie?
For other people.
Yeah, for.
And hello to the Kinnaman. Thank you for that to speak my heart.
Jeannie and I have the opportunity to work alongside each other almost every day. We worked really hard to prepare our testimony today as one, because that's truly what we are. Do you like?
Yeah.
What do you do? What are things you do with your staff?
I like them. Okay, I want to talk to, ask them, they asked me today if they want to get a raise. More pay, and we need more help in the group, for people, like our homes. We need more sports, more help, people to help people more out.
Can I share what you told me when we were prepping?
Yeah.
She said something so poignant to me that was, a life without staff is not a life, and a life with bad staff is a life sentence. Yeah. It's hard. DSPs, the turnover rate is so high. What is it like when new staff are supporting? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You get one, go. We'll do one more, that's good. Keep going.
And we need more people to help the people like have seizures and like a choking and all of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We need more raise.
You stay right there. One more. Go ahead.
I'm Rosalie Pedrosa, and when I saw the long list of testifiers, I actually submitted my testimony online this morning, so rather than take more time, you guys have spent so much time already, and I will leave it at that.
Thank you. Well, we've got the best. I know. You can stay there, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys, nice person.
So glad. Are you ready? I'm gonna talk now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to thank everybody for being here, and I love these community hearings because we have incredible people in Oregon. This is what makes Oregon, Oregon, and it is always great to see just the sheer breadth of people. You can also see just the sheer amount of asks that are being asked of the state budget. We have about just under $1 billion to invest, and I think you probably heard multiple billions of dollars of asks. So there's going to be some really hard decisions that we're going to have to make, but we are going to focus on the facts. We're going to focus on making sure that we're not going to preemptively cut. I said that front, but some people maybe didn't hear it. We're not going to preemptively cut, but we will respond as need be to what's happening with our budget. And if you didn't get to testify, please submit. You've got 48 hours. We love hearing from you. Thank you for being here. And with that, I am going to adjourn the public hearing. And I'm going to send everybody out.